Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's reading we are going to be doing a classic that I have not done in eons. We are going to be doing channeled messages from your person. Now, whoever your person is, it could be someone you are asking about, it could be someone coming through. If you get yourself and you don't want to hear about yourself, please choose another pile. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's just go ahead and break down what we're going to do in this reading. So we're going to start with an energy check, and that's going to encompass, first of all, who this person is. So we're going to be asking who it is. And second, we're going to be asking about the current state / energy of your connection. We're going to be using tarot and some oracle decks that I have sneakily hidden already because they're already shuffled into your groups. So hopefully that'll be a little helpful for you while you're choosing. And then after we've confirmed that this is a reading you want to hear about, someone that you would like messages from, we are going to see what they want to say to you through channeled messages. And we are going to be using the Queen herself, the Hermit Tarot's channeled messages today, which are amazing and super helpful. So that will be how we get the channeled messages, and I'll just pull through anything else that I am getting intuitively. And then we will finish off with guidance for you. Now, and the guidance will be based on like whatever I feel like questions could be most beneficial to you. If you enjoy the reading and you want more, and you want me to spill the tea on your person and this connection, we are going to be doing an extended on Vimeo, and we're going to be doing a little heart-shaped spread that I'm really excited for. And essentially what's going to happen is we are going to start by looking at how they see you overall. What is your person's perception of you? Then we're going to look at something they adore about you. What is something that gives them butterflies about you? What is something that they just think is so precious about you? Then we're going to look at their secret desires. This could potentially be 18 plus, so you should be 18 if you're watching this, but I'm just saying, like, spicy, there could be a little bit of spice there if you're interested in that, but it will be desires in general. We're also going to look at how your connection is currently impacting them. So this could be anything from, you know, things that might be triggering within them, realizations they might be having, feelings that they're having. I'm leaving that open to just see whatever wants to come through. And then we are going to look at what your mutual feelings are for each other. So what is something that you both feel? What is the strongest mutual feeling? I think I'm gonna add that. I just thought of that. We should do strongest mutual feeling. And then I'm really excited for this question. We're going to look at your connection's synergetic superpower. So synergy is when two things that come together are greater, things that come together are greater than the sum of their parts. And I feel like this is going to be a really cool question because I just want to see how when you two come together, like in this connection, what powerful energy is created between the two of you? What synergy do you guys have? I'm really excited to look at that question. And then we are going to clarify all of these questions using more channeled messages. We're going to be using School of Magic Art or Starseed Shelter on Instagram's channeled messages. And I have two of them together, so that will be a little mega deck. I love this deck, it's so cute. So we will be using those messages to clarify each of these questions in the extended and also get more channeled messages, which yay. So that is what we are going to be covering today. As usual, extended will be linked down below. But we have 4 different groups for you to choose from today. So starting with group number 1, I am going to be using the Moonchild Tarot, and we have this Lapis Lazuli Ankh on top. And then for group number 2, we are going to be using the Mystical Forest Tarot, and I have this Golden Healer circle on top. Then for group number 3, we are going to be using the Pastel Journey Tarot, and I have this Aqua Aura Quartz Tower on it's an amethyst, not a quartz. There's too many words. There's too many words in that. Shiny rainbow amethyst tower on top. And then finally for group number 4, we are going to be using the Gothmancy Tarot deck, and I have this rainbow heart with assorted crystal, made of assorted crystals on top. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. Like I said, it's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. The biggest thing here is that if you get a group, if you choose a group and it's not hitting, like this is why I do the energy check, so that you can look at it and be like, oh, this is not the person I wanted to hear about, or oh, I'm getting myself. Just choose a different group. There is nothing saying that if you don't pick it the first time, then it's not your reading, it's not your group. That's why we do the energy check. Sometimes we just pick the wrong group, and that's okay. Or if you're drawn to more than one, it could be you have multiple messages from different people. Do what is right for you. Don't disempower yourself, and also feel free to just check out a different reading if you want a different vibe, a different energy. That is absolutely okay. So with that being said, if you guys are unaware, my newest candle is now out. It is the sun, and I am absolutely obsessed with this candle. I can't wait for you guys to see what it looks like. But if you're unaware, all of the tarot candles in my candle line come with a mini tarot card inside. So what we are going to do is see what the mini tarot card is, and that will be the message for the mini message for this reading. And then we will make a wish together. So let's go ahead and see. Ooh, okay, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Love to see that. So we'll hold on to that, but let's just take a second to admire how gorgeous she is. I bet you can relate to that. And we have citrine and sunstone inside, and it has like a fresh, like citrusy scent. Lots of S's, and I just absolutely adore it. So if you would like to pause the video to kind of focus on your wish or what you want to create and manifest together, you know, the sun is all about success and positivity, and we are in Leo season right now, so this is perfect for the Leo in your life, or just perfect for any wishes you might have. Anyway, go ahead and make your wish. I'm gonna make mine right now. May yours, mine, and all of our wishes come true. Okay, so with this 10 of Pentacles here, I'm getting a couple of different things. The first message that I got the most strongly was if you are working towards some sort of financial goal, whether that is you have your own business, whether you are in school, whether you're going to grad school or something like that, this is a message to me about hanging in there and being patient. I feel like something that you are working towards is going to be far more abundant than you realize, but it's going to take quite a bit of time to get there. I feel like this is something where you're not meant to get a lot very quickly and then lose it just as quickly. I feel like this is a building of resources over time, and I feel like this is just a beautiful sign that you're headed in the right direction. I also feel like this is a sign as well, if you have any important family events coming up, that this might be just a wonderful opportunity to connect with family, that this might go well. If you've needed a sign to connect with family or certain family members, definitely go for it. I also see with the 10 of Pentacles here that if you are trying to create or build upon, if you're trying to create a family, I feel like this is a positive sign, and to keep trusting in that greater vision. And if you are looking for long-term connections or long-term relationships, I feel like you're being called to keep your eye on the prize and not settle for less, not settle for less than what you want. I also feel like this is a time as well to be wise with your investments, because certain things that you might choose may be I guess like the message that I'm getting is, if you can make decisions, if you have decisions to make around like assets or finances, like make the decision that will be the best for you in the long run. I definitely feel like decisions you're making now are affecting you in the long term in positive ways. But I also feel like this is a reminder to take a step back and slow down and stop pressuring yourself so much. Like, you have more than enough time to achieve what you are trying to. And it's important to remember that, well, number one, there is no mother lode cheat in life. I wish there was. But what you are building, just because you're not seeing it quite yet doesn't mean it's not there. Good things take time, and I feel like you're building really solid foundations and a powerful future for yourself that is well on its way, and you're already doing it, you're already creating it. You just need to be patient and trust the process. I feel like if you tend to overthink or get worried about like, what if this is the wrong decision? What if I make a wrong move? I don't really think you can make a wrong move here. I feel like even if you make a misstep or make a mistake, it's just gonna help you learn and get yourself in an even better position. I definitely feel like as well, you could be reaching a cycle of completion in your family life or just in your life in general, where you're stepping into a new stage of life, a new phase of life. And I feel like this new phase is going to be very influential and be it could be something that becomes a part of your life for a really long time. So I hope that makes sense. Kind of an interesting message to come out, but I definitely see this as abundance and especially like financial abundance, but financial abundance that is built over time and that is the product of hard work, but then also being wise with your money and also like letting things grow over time. Good energy, good vibes. So if you made it to the end of this intro squad, I'm looking at you. I love you guys. Leave me a sun. Leave me a sun. Let me know that you're here. You guys are the lights of my life. I love you. Like when you guys leave me those little emoji comments, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe all these people watch the intro. Like I'm so blessed and so lucky. And I'm so blessed and so lucky to have you. So let's get into this reading now where I can show and appreciate how much I appreciate, where I can do my thing and hopefully show you how much I appreciate you by doing my little thing. Cannot talk, but thank God. Thank God I have such awesome people watching me that are forgiving and understand that. But once I'm no longer reliant on saying words, it'll get better. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. And once you have picked your group or groups, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile one. Welcome to your reading and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Lapis Lazuli Ankh and the Moonchild Tarot, this is going to be your reading on channel messages from your person. Now, your person can be really anyone, but ideally it's the person you're asking about. What we're going to be doing right now is I'm going to be shuffling a card from this deck to represent who this person is, in addition to these two cards, and a card to represent the current energy / state of the connection before we get into channeled messages. So if this part does not resonate, then this is not your reading. And if you get yourself, just know you don't have to sit through a reading about yourself. You can just pick another group. There are no consequences here. So while I'm shuffling, if you just want to take the time to focus your energy on the situation or the person you're asking about, feel free to. This is kind of a hard deck to shuffle, so I would appreciate compliments about how strong I am, but you know, I don't need them, but just appreciate them. Okay, so Spirit, who is the person coming through for pile one? Who is the person we are going to be channeling messages from at this time? And what is the current energy of the connection between pile one and this person, please? What is the current energy? Whoop, okay, all right. So to start with who this person is, we have the Knight of Wands, we have Chimes, and we have Justice. Like, I don't know how I want to, maybe like that. Okay, and then for the state / energy of your connection, we have the Empress, we have Thursos, and we have the Two of Wands. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I like this energy. I like this energy a lot. It definitely feels like Whoever this is someone that is you either met recently or someone that you haven't gotten too serious with quite yet. The vibe that I'm getting from this person is that they are not only someone who is adventurous, but they are also someone who is quite brave and also funny. The fact that we have the Knight of Wands and Justice here leads me to believe that they could have Libra or Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, zodiac signs or placements. They don't have to. So if this resonates, but the signs don't, then don't take that part. But it's just for extra confirmation. This is definitely someone who is not afraid to have a good time. But you may have some reservations about how grounded or serious they are. This is someone who I would say probably has a really beautiful voice or a beautiful singing voice. They could sing. And this is also someone who's very, well, the word that came to mind immediately was blunt. But I do feel like that's something that they're working on, trying to be more gracious with how they say things, but they are someone who's not afraid to be honest, and they do try to do right by others. This is definitely someone who is in a mood to have a good time, likes to have a good time. They could be a little bit younger than you, or they could just have a really youthful energy. They're definitely attractive to you, and someone that maybe you're a little bit like wary of because of your attraction to them. You might be like, oh, I'm a little too attracted to you, or I don't really know how I feel about like the attraction levels here. But this is someone who is passionate, not afraid to take risks, somebody who has a way with words where they could say things to you that are very innocent in their mind, but they're very powerful to you. Like, I feel like even having this person say like complimentary things to you is quite powerful, in the sense that like you're like, wow, I can't believe this person feels that way about me or sees me in that way. I feel like they're lighthearted. This is definitely someone who enjoys traveling. Maybe you met them while traveling, or they're from or live in a different place than you. This is definitely someone who likes to get up and go. They like to do things. They like to also just have fun. I know I've said that, but their idea of fun can be a lot of different things. Like, I feel like there's someone who can fit in a lot of different groups. Like, this is the type of person that could have fun going out, but have just as much fun doing like a wilderness retreat. I feel like they're just very passionate about experiences, about life. They could be quite sexual in nature, or just have a very like sexual energy to them. I feel like they are, like I said, pretty attractive, but I feel like there's an attractiveness to them when it comes to just their spirit. Like, I feel like they have a jovial laugh, or just a wonderful smile, or just something that puts others at ease. This is like the extrovert friend that that every introvert needs. They are the type of person to help you come out of your shell. They're the type of person to encourage you to try different things, to go out of your way to do things that make you afraid. Like, I feel like this person loves facing fears, loves testing their physical limits. I wouldn't be shocked if they're quite athletic, or if they really enjoy competition and competitive things in nature. But I definitely think that sometimes their intelligence is undervalued or underappreciated. I wonder if that's something you guys connect on, because I do feel like a lot of people look at this person only for their physicality, or only for what they see on the surface. This person has a really inquisitive mind, and I feel like they're a lot more observant than people realize. I also feel like this person picks up on things that people think that they don't. Like, this person gets this persona of, like, what's the best way to describe this? People project this idea that this person is dumb, or that they dumb might be a little bit harsh. Maybe that's the wording that they would use, but I feel like a lot of people kind of project this idea that this person isn't very smart, or that that their strengths lie in their physicality, or in their attractiveness. or in their athleticism. And I feel like a lot of people that think that don't actually take the time to get to know this person. I also feel like they have a spiritual side that they're not very open about, whether that is religious or just like greater spiritual energy. I feel like they have this kind of inquisitive nature where they are connected to something greater and they may not always understand it, but they're constantly learning and just a very curious person. I feel like there is a bit of a wound where they haven't been valued for their internal qualities. And I think that's been something that they've been growing and learning from. But also I think that this person is at a place in life right now where it's like they want to do right by others, but they are not going to sacrifice what they want and their desires for anyone. And with the chimes as well, I just feel like they have a very nice voice, or just a very pleasing energy. Like, you know, when you hear wind chimes, like it just sounds so nice. And I definitely feel like this person has a very graceful, elegant way of being. Like, even if they're an athlete, like they just have this very graceful way of doing things that's just like, oh wow, I can't believe, like, that person is really impressive. Definitely likes to push boundaries, not in a way that's like not consenting, but like they like to push their own boundaries. They like to push themselves, and they have a lot of energy, so they need to get it out in one way or another. And I feel like for a lot of you, they could have already expressed some of that sexual energy, but I can also see here that, you know, the Knight of Wands can be kind of like I don't know how I feel about this, only because, you know, sometimes the Knight of Wands is here for a good time, not a long time. I can't say where this person is at for sure, but what I can say is that this is not a Knight of Wands that is willing to sacrifice their morals in order to just get their rocks off or have a good time. Like, if they only see something casual, or if they only want something like, you know, for a short period of time, they will tell you. Like, this is someone who says what they mean and means what they say. They're not the type of person to make destructive choices and then make excuses. Like, if they make a destructive choice, they're gonna be like, I made a destructive choice, it wasn't good. But like, they would rather be honest and like take the consequences for that than lie. And the Knight of Wands can just sometimes have like fuckboy energy. Not saying that this person is a boy, but you know, the terminology. And I don't get that vibe from this person. I feel like they just have a lot of the positive qualities of the Knight of Wands, and I feel like this kind of justice energy balances them out. But I do think they have a hard time slowing down. They have a hard time being grounded, and they also have a hard time with the word no when it comes to things they can't do. Like, this is definitely someone who needs their freedom and will not stick around in situations where they have to dull themselves down or where they have to be like caged in. Like, they don't want a situation where they feel caged in. But I think that there's a lot of excitement around you, and I feel like I said, one powerful thing, we'll look at this in the extended, but if you're not visiting me over there, I do feel like one powerful aspect about you is that you see them for more than just what's on the surface, and they don't get that a lot, and I think that's very, very powerful to them. So looking at the energy of your connection, so I definitely feel like you both are in this discovery phase. You're kind of seeing where things go. Like, this is a vibe of dating, or a vibe of like you guys have reached a certain stage of your connection and you're exploring what that is like, how that is for the both of you, what you want to experience together. Like, this is a place of discovery. This is a place of, okay, we've gotten past the Ace of Wands. There's passion, there's excitement here. Where are we going now? What are we doing with this? Because there's a lot, especially with the Thursaz energy, there's just a lot of raw power. Gosh, the internet has given me brain rot. I can't even say the word raw without being like, anyway, I definitely feel like both of you are not on eggshells with one another, but have kind of a protective barrier up. I feel like that's just because, number one, you may not know each other well enough to like be secure in sharing more of yourselves, or you may just be uncertain with like, what are the other's intentions? Where is this heading? I feel like with the Thursaz energy, there is this like, you're both kind of being careful and being patient because neither of you want to get poked or get burned. It's like, you know, a rose has thorns on them, right? And if you're not careful, you might, if you're picking roses really quickly, you might hurt yourself. But if you're careful, you could likely avoid that. So I feel like there's kind of this vibe where both of you feel a lot of potential. There's a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of passion between the two of you. But it's like you both are tempering yourselves the best that you can. And also with the Empress card being here, it seems like you guys see a lot of creative potential, a lot of expansion together. But there's this energy of, let's just take this slowly. Let's just see where things go. Like, let's not try to control this. The Empress can talk a lot about cycles and allowing things to run their course naturally. And so I feel like that's kind of what you both are doing. There is a little bit of collaboration in terms of like where you see things headed. Like you guys might be having those conversations now and again. But I feel like there's a lot of like, let's just see where things are going. Like, let's just feel the vibe. But also with the Empress card being here, I feel like there's a lot of creative energy between the two of you. Maybe you guys are creative collaborators or you're almost muses for one another. I also feel like there is this element of this connection where you both feel really good about yourselves and feel really nourished and nurtured by the other when you're together. It's like you're valued and held in ways that I don't think that you guys are in other connections. I feel like that's probably why there is this energy of really wanting to be careful and not wanting to get hurt, because I think both of you already, whether you want to admit it or not, do have a bit of emotional attachment and investment in what turns out here. So I feel like both of you are really trying to just keep it chill, like keep things, let things happen naturally. You're definitely in a explore, grow, see where things go phase, but I feel like things are blossoming. Like I feel like things are continuing to head in a positive direction. I feel like one of the biggest things is that both of you may be just really afraid of the vulnerability that this situation is requiring. And I feel like both of you are really having to step into more authenticity around like loving yourself and around being vulnerable, because I feel like there is investment with how this person sees you, how you see them. Like both of you want to have good impressions with one another. Both of you feel like there's a lot of potential here, a lot of opportunities for creation. I will say, if you are doing the devil's tango with them and there is the potential to get pregnant, make sure you're being careful, because that potential is there. And if you don't want anything like that, make sure you're taking precautions, because there's a lot of fertile energy here, if you know what I'm saying. And I definitely feel like no matter what, like there's a lot of creation happening between the two of you right now, where you're like seeing how things could be in the future, like, and maybe, and this is not like future faking or anything like that. This is like, I feel like both of you subconsciously are like, oh yeah, I could see this person, like I could see them, you know, being with my family in this situations, or I could see this going somewhere, I could see this heading somewhere. And I feel like there could be aspects on both sides where you're kind of uncertain about one another, where there are ways in which you diverge. And so I feel like that's probably one of the things that's maybe making both of you a bit hesitant. But there's a lot of things you do agree on. There's a lot of things that you are very like compatible, like there's a lot of compatibility there. And so I feel like both of you are kind of processing, like weighing like the pros and cons of your differences and seeing like, okay, is this a sustainable long-term dynamic? And I feel like that's something you guys are exploring right now and trying to figure out. But really good vibes. So let's go ahead and see what this person wants to say. Let's get the channeled messages out. So we are using the Queen herself, the Hermit Tarot's channeled messages. And I'm really excited to use these because they're always great and always helpful. And I will just essentially pull as many as I would like to get as much clarity as possible and just see what wants to come through. And like I said, if you're enjoying this reading, leaving me a little like. Thank you to everyone who does that. That's really helpful. But if you want to, I will be spilling a lot of tea about this person in the extended. If you want to see everything there, that'll be linked down below. But we're going to be looking at things like how they see you, how they feel about you, what they're feeling right now, what your mutual feelings are for one another, what their desires are. I have a feeling that this will be an 18+ section of desires. We're going to look at what they adore, lots of cool stuff like that. So that'll be down below, but let's give one more good shuffle. Okay, so pile one's person, please. What would they say to pile one at this time? What is their truth when it comes to pile one? We have, I just wish things were different. Maybe let's move that down a little bit. We've got plenty of space. What would they say to pile one? I am manifesting you. I am obsessed with your body. Yeah, that makes sense. What else would they say? Oh, okay. We have, I could be your hero, baby. And one more. I miss you. Do you? Oh, okay. So I guess I didn't pick up on this, but you know, maybe for some of you, there is some distance. There is some, maybe you haven't seen one another in a while, or maybe you've seen each other recently and like this person is already missing you. I feel like there is a lot that this person is processing in terms of their past insecurities. And I also feel like if you are at a distance from this person, I feel like that distance is probably because they have things that they need to work through or things that they need to grow through. With I just wish things were different, I do feel like there is this desire to push through maybe some of the defensive barriers between the two of you. But I also think in terms of wishing things were different, I feel like there is a certain stage of your connection that they would like to be in that they either can't be in yet because of like it's just too soon, or because they are worried that if they rush things too fast, then like you'll get scared and run off. I mean, we have light on the bottom of the deck, and I feel like there is a lot of like, you are a powerful light in their life. Like you are a source of great passion, and I feel like they see a lot of value in you and the connection with you. With the Six of Cups here, I feel like this person really wants to impress you and really wants to be the best version of themselves. I feel like they want to, there's kind of this cute energy where it's like, you know how like in school, if you saw your crush and you were like at sports or something, you're like, oh, I want to make sure like I'm doing really good. Like I want to impress them. Or, you know how you would like wear a specific outfit because you wanted your crush to see it. Like, I feel like there's this really cute crush energy where this person like really wants to protect you and keep you safe and be what you need without smothering you. I definitely feel like this, I am obsessed with your body. Like they're very, very attracted to you. And I feel like they are manifesting some sort of, well, for some of you, if you're at a distance from this person, reunion or deeper connection with you. It could also be that like if you guys are at a distance from one another, they are manifesting like a trip with you, a trip to see you. I definitely feel like they have a lot of dirty thoughts about you, and they are quite attracted to you, period. Maybe you just haven't been together physically, and that's something that they're missing. But I definitely feel like they want more closeness here. Like that, there's a lot of emphasis around desiring more closeness. And also, a desire to make their circumstances more favorable to allow more connection between the two of you. I also feel like there is a little bit of discomfort around maybe the physical effects you have on them, and the way that they feel vulnerable. Like, I feel like there is this need almost for them to kind of compensate for that vulnerability by like proving to you their worth and doing things to like make you feel safe, to make you feel like you need them. I feel like there is this kind of insecurity with this person where they're like, well, what if I'm not enough? What if there's someone more compatible? Because I feel like one of the insecurities that may exist between the two of you is that you guys might be like on an everyday, like speaking on like in terms of everyday things, like you guys might lead different lifestyles or be quite different. And I feel like this person is really hoping that that is something that you won't allow to get in the way, or think that that means that they're not interested in you. I definitely feel like there is this recognition that like in order to make things work between the two of you, there will have to be some shifting and there will have to be some changes between the two of you. But I feel like they're at least willing to do those things. I think that there's just a little bit of worry that there could be someone else that would just fit your needs, fit what you're wanting more. But there really is this sweet energy where it's like they don't want their sexual energy to overpower the sweet feelings that they have for you. Because I feel like there is just this like, I'm almost getting the vibe, like I'm thinking of Aladdin, where, you know, he just like wants to take Jasmine on a magic carpet ride. Like this person wants to take you on a magic carpet ride. Like they want to show you the world. They want to travel the world with you. And it's like, you know, if one of the things that's happening is like, if you guys are at a distance from one another or you're not able to see each other as often as you would like, they really want to manifest a situation where you guys can either travel more or be together more often and just like share more space and have more experiences together. I feel like this person wants to, man, they are horny. They're very horny for you. I'm not gonna lie. So if you're asexual, you're probably gonna have a hard time. Get it? That's what she said. That might be a compatibility thing that might be challenging. So I'm hoping for most of you that's, well, I'm just hoping that for whatever, you can create a dynamic that works. I do feel like this person is very passionate about you. And even if you just saw them yesterday, I feel like they already miss you and they might be uncomfortable with that. Like, I feel like this person's strong suit isn't mushy, feely emotions, but they definitely have those and they want to express them in very masculine ways. This person doesn't have to be a man, but like they have a masculine energy and they want to like have, they may want to play like the dominant role in your relationship, or they may want to be like the leader in your relationship or take the lead more often in this connection, where, you know, they can kind of prove their worth and prove that, like, you know, I'm worth following, like I'm worth exploring with. I definitely think that they have grand visions for the future and they're seeing how you fit in them, and I feel like they see you fitting quite well, and I think that they really also value how your differences could really complement them. And I feel like this person is playing it cool, and I feel like one thing the universe wants you to know is that they're playing it cool, but that's only because they don't want to scare you away, because there's a lot of passion, and I feel like they're just trying to temper it with reason. And also, like, they don't want this to be a situation where it like it burns like fast and hot and then just disappears. Like, they want it to be slow and hot. And also, if you have insecurities about your appearance, I feel like one thing they want you to know is that they find you incredibly attractive. And obviously that's not going to fix anyone's insecurities with their appearance, but they want you to know they find you really attractive, and they don't want you to let those insecurities stop you from connecting with them more. Like, this is a sex with the lights on type of person, I'm not gonna lie. So they could be just really wanting to also show you how worthy of love that you are, just like how much they adore and am obsessed with their body, am obsessed with your body. I definitely think they have a lot of thoughts like that. But, you know, one of the things I think is interesting is that this is the only card with a black background. So I feel like they really, really try to suppress a lot of their urges and a lot of like the things that they want to say and want to do, because they want to be respectful. And they also like don't want to rush into a situation or make you think that they're only in it for the physical connection, because there's a lot more there. But there's definitely things that they want to change, and I feel like they're manifesting that change, and they desire more closeness with you, and they really want to impress you and show up for you. They really want to be there. They want to be their best self. I was trying to think of who Aladdin called himself when, you know, he was plotting with the genie to become a prince, but I couldn't think of that. But yeah, that movie seems significant in some way. So let's go ahead and get guidance for you now. And I'm not getting any like pressing questions, so we're just gonna kind of see what Spirit wants you to know. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 1 when it comes to this person and their connection with them, please? We have the crown chakra. So I definitely think that you're being called to trust in the spiritual insights that this connection is bringing you. I feel like you could be getting really bogged down by the physical barriers or the uncertainties you may have about what's happening. I feel like this connection is really trying to get you closer to your own spiritual connection and get you closer to your own intuitive wisdom. I feel like if there are things that you just know, trust them. But I also feel like you could be allowing your fears to run rampant unnecessarily. Like you could be just connecting to yourself more and bringing yourself more like soothing energy by just accepting fears that you may have, but also observing those and finding ways to see how they may be impacting your behavior, and just kind of seeing what you can do to support yourself and not allow those to get in the way of connection. I definitely feel like there is a spiritual purpose to your connection with this person right now, where you're really being called to look at where you are feeling inhibited from connecting, where your fears around connection are, and where you may still have sore spots from past wounds, and where you may just have walls up. Like those are not things to shame yourself for or believe that there's something wrong with you for, but they are things that you can work on, and they are you know, just opportunities for more healing. I also think that there is like a greater spiritual guidance like assisting the both of you, and I feel like you're really being called to trust in what you feel, and also trust in what you can't see, trust in what is supporting you. And I'm just hearing what is meant for you won't miss you, and to trust just like if you feel like you need to be in a different place, if you feel like things aren't happening quickly enough, like I feel like you're really being called to say to yourself, like, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Like nothing is out of place, and because it's the truth, you are. Okay, what other guidance do you have for my pile ones, please? Okay, so I feel like this is a call to let love in. This is the Lover's card, and I definitely think that one of the things that you may not be seeing is how passionate this person is about you, because you're allowing your insecurities to get in the way of receiving that energy. Like if you're an energetically sensitive person, you may not be picking up on a lot of energy from this person, because when you are connecting with them, you're too busy thinking about like, oh, like, does my hair look bad, or does my outfit, like you might just be like in your head and insecure to the point where you're not even seeing opportunities to connect. I feel like this card is a call for you to make decisions from your heart and trust what's in your heart. Like there's definitely an opportunity to build love here and to bring you closer to yourself. And to not only share love with someone else, like you guys may not be at that place yet, but it seems like there's the potential for something really strong here. And even if there weren't, like it's leading you towards more love. Like this is definitely significant, and I feel like you're really just being called to make the choices that honor your heart and don't play games. Trust what's in your heart. Like, and you may not think that you play games, but like we can all do that. Like if you're thinking like, oh, I'm not going to text them back until until X amount of hours because I don't want to seem too interested. Like that's a game. Don't, like, if you want to respond immediately, do it. Like if you want to match passion, do it. If you want to share more of your passion, do it. Like do what your heart is telling you, and don't allow your wounds and your fears and your ego to invalidate the powerful experiences you're having, and don't allow that, like don't allow those fears to stop you from opening up to more love in your life and opening up to seeing where you and this person could head. But one more piece of guidance, please, for my pile ones, please. What else? We have release. Yeah, this is the Death card. This is all about, okay, 8 of Wands. Like I definitely think that growth and success can happen here as long as you don't push this situation away and shut down. But I definitely feel like you're being called to release what doesn't belong to you anymore, outdated patterns of thinking, and to kind of allow like the greater spiritual container you're in to help you transform. Like I feel like there's a lot of powerful transformation happening, and part of that is happening through being challenged to break beyond barriers that once felt impenetrable or impossible to overcome. And the fact that you have the Ankh, like that's a powerful protection symbol, and I feel like you are safe to explore and to be more vulnerable and to grow. I feel like you really need to release what is within you and past memories that are keeping you stuck in ideas that you're not worthy, you're not good enough. Like, and that doesn't mean you need to release them completely in order for things to progress. It just means you can't allow them to impact how you take action and not allow them to hold you back and hold you down. It's definitely time to release fears and release insecurities that are holding you back, and also just like release the need to know what's going to happen, and try your best to be in the moment and trust that like you are enough. Like your energy is enough, your authentic self is enough, and you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to try to be anything other than yourself, and release the idea that you have to be at a certain place or you have to be in a certain state in order to be worthy of love, in order to be worthy of connection, because you already are. And there is no, release the idea that there is one way or there's a proper way to do things. Like different things work for different people, and you need to release what isn't yours so that you can accept more of what is for you and allow for more connection to happen. So pile 1, I'm going to go over and move over to the extended now, where we're going to spill tea on your person and your connection. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching and for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show me support and help me. So thank you to everyone who does that. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, liking the video, commenting down below, letting me know how it resonates, are all really helpful ways. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch. You can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ACE10 for 10% off. You can check out my social media. You can check out other videos. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Golden Healer Circle and the Mystical Forest Tarot, this is going to be your reading on channeled messages from your person. And by your person, that is whoever is coming through in this reading. So what we're going to start by doing is looking at who this person is and what the current state / energy of your connection is. So if this resonates, you found the right group. If it sounds like yourself and you don't want to hear about yourself, please try a different group. If it resonates but it's not the person you were asking about, feel free to check other groups and see if there's one that features the person you're asking about. But if it resonates, you found the right group for you. I just kind of want to remind y'all that like just because you don't get the group that resonates for you on the first try doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. I do the energy checks so that you can find what's truly for you and not have to sit through a reading that's not for you. But thank you for being here. Good deck choice. The artwork is so cool. Okay, so I'm going to use this deck to shuffle a card to represent who this person is, and then what the energy / state of the connection is. So over here we have who this person is. So Spirit, who is the person coming through for pile 2? Who has messages to give? Who has something to say to my group number 2s? And what is the state of the connection between group number 2 and this person? Okay. Oh, and you can always check the beginning of the video for a full breakdown of the reading. So as far as who this person is, we have the Knight of Cups. Ooh. Okay. We have Door. We have Tincture. And we have the High Priestess. And then as far as what the state of your connection is with them, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay. We have Hagalaz. We have Anses. I'm wearing Anses right now. And we have the King of Swords. So, okay. As far as who your person is, like the first word that came to mind was soft boy. This person doesn't have to be a boy, but this person has soft, sweet vibes to them. And I definitely think that they are someone that you are romantically involved with now, or someone that has romantic feelings towards you. This could be someone that you've had experience with in the past. We'll kind of get there. But water signs are very strong here. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, your person could have those signs. They certainly don't have to, but they definitely have a very watery vibe to them. It definitely seems like they are a dreamer. They are quite, they're definitely a romantic. Even if they have, you know, different ways of approaching the world, like if they could be serious like at the workplace or seem kind of quiet and reserved to a lot of people, but they have a really rich, deep inner world that that they don't share with everyone. I definitely feel like this is someone who maybe has turned over a new leaf in life. I definitely think when it comes to you, this is either a new person that you've met recently, or this is someone that you've had romantic feelings for, that's had romantic feelings for you, and for whatever reason, things did not work out in the past, but it seems like they've turned over a new leaf. It seems like they have changed in some sort of way, and they're in a much more healthy energy than they used to be. This is definitely someone, especially with the Tincture card here, that has a very healing vibe to them. Like they're very emotionally nurturing, and I feel like they're also someone who really likes to talk about their feelings, or just likes to be in their feelings. I wouldn't be shocked if they really enjoy music that gets them in their feels. They might really like sad music, or just music in general that affects their emotions. Like I feel like they feel very deeply. They can be quite intuitive, and I feel like they're also pretty hard to read. Like this person gives me the vibe of, you know, people might think that this person doesn't like them because this person isn't like smiling all the time. Like someone might think that this person is rude, but really they're just off in their own little world, and they're not really very present. I can definitely see here that they can be hard to get to know, and they're definitely someone who, like, it's easy to project onto them because they kind of have this elusive, mysterious vibe. A lot of people want this person and want to know this person, but this person doesn't let a lot of people in. They also are the type of person that is likely very creative, probably romanticizes life or has a very romantic idea of life. I definitely feel like they've had some experiences that have maybe shook them up in important ways. I feel like this person in the past has been quite irresponsible with the hearts of others and even their own heart. I feel like they've had experiences where what they've done to others, they've had done to them, and they realized like, oh, this isn't right, this isn't fair. I definitely feel like this is the type of person who also either loves animals or prefers animals to people. I wouldn't be shocked if they have animals, or they're very passionate about caring for animals, or like even animal activism. They could be vegetarian or vegan, and specifically from a standpoint of like they don't want to eat animals. I definitely feel like they have an ability to see through people and see people quite clearly. And I definitely think that they, if this is someone from your past or someone you've known for a while, they didn't appreciate your loyal heart in the past. And I feel like that's something that they've learned and recognized is very important and actually very special to them. But if this is a newer person, I feel like they can tell you have a really loyal heart or just a very precious heart, and that's something that's very special and important to them. I definitely think that they're the type of person who can get really lost in their emotions. So I think one of the things that they're working through is they've always been genuine in their romantic endeavors, but their feelings haven't always lasted, and they've realized like sometimes they get caught like swept up in the moment, and as a result they've said and done things that were maybe dishonest, or you know, made promises that they couldn't keep. And I feel like this person has been working and growing through that. Maybe that's something that you experienced, and if that is, I definitely feel like that's something they feel really bad about and realize like how messed up that is. I mean, maybe you communicated to them about it, but I definitely think that there is a lot that this person desires that they have a hard time owning or admitting because they don't always feel worthy. I definitely feel like for some of you, you might be like, oh yeah, I closed the door on this person. Like, I don't want this person in my life. And maybe they're showing back up and you're like, oh crap, like the feelings and the vibes are still kind of there, but I don't trust this person. Well, we'll get there. Or if this is a newer person, it could be that your heart is still a little like weary and wary, and you feel like this person could be really good for you emotionally. Like they could be a new pathway, a new experience for you, and like connecting with them could be quite healing, because I definitely feel like they're very nurturing, they're very caring. This is the type of person that wants to talk about their feelings and like wants to hear how you're feeling. Like, this is the type of person who, if you guys are watching like a movie and it's like getting really, and it's really emotional, like they'll cry with you. And like if you cry during movies, like they'll find that so sweet. I definitely think that they love emotional vulnerability, and they love people that they can be emotionally vulnerable with. I also feel like they're the type of person, like they like to be romantic. They like to do romantic gestures. Like this is someone who would buy you flowers or surprise you with your favorite like coffee order, for example. They pay attention to the small details, and you can also tell when they're interested in you because they listen to you with so much focus, and like there's so much engagement. Like when they are like focused on you and interested in you, it's like they don't want to miss a word. And so you can really tell the difference between whether this person is invested or not, because I feel like a lot of times they're kind of lost in their own world. So when they are interested enough in someone or something that they're like laser focused on it, you can tell that they're really interested and find that really important. The door is also making me think of Monsters, Inc. I don't know why. But like, it's making me think of Mike Wazowski and his girlfriend. Like they're so cute, right? I haven't seen that movie in a long time, so I could be wrong. But I'm not saying this person is like Mike Wazowski. I feel like Mike Wazowski is a lot more swordsy than he is cupsy. But I do think at the very least, this Knight of Cups is likely very creative, very deep, very emotional. And someone who is a romantic at heart. Like they want romantic love. They want to love someone and be loved. And they also are someone who is willing to go the lengths for love. And I think that they have been they've kind of definitely gone through the ringer for a while, because they made reckless decisions in love. They gave their heart to the wrong people. They may have explored situations where they didn't navigate them very well and ended up hurting others. I definitely think that this person has had a lot of growth, like especially with this High Priestess here. I feel like they've worked a lot on themselves. They've been doing a lot of healing, and I feel like they have balanced their emotional energy a lot more. And they're also recognizing like how they have to kind of temper themselves and not run away with themselves too soon, because that's how they can get hurt and how they can also hurt others. But I also think that this person to you is someone who you feel like a very intuitive connection to. It might be a little bit anxiety inducing to be around them, because it seems like you can't hide your feelings or can't hide what's going on emotionally. Like this person is going to pick up on when you're being distant or if you're being quiet. Like this is not someone who, if you say like I'm fine and you're not, like they're just gonna be like, oh, okay. But I guess to be on my soapbox for a second, if you're not fine, just say that. Like speak your mind, like share how you feel, speak up. I definitely think that if this is a newer person, this is someone who really, really wants to do things the right way, like treat you right and be very like healing towards you. Like they want to make you feel safe. They want to make you feel loved. And if this is someone from your past, if they are the same way they used to be in negative ways, I would say this is not your pile and not your person. But if this person seems like they've turned over a new leaf and you're unsure if that's genuine or not, I think it is. They certainly aren't perfect, but I feel like they've matured a lot. And they're also recognizing where they need to be maybe more cautious and more conscientious towards others. And I think what's really beautiful is that this is a person who has a vision of love they are unwilling to let go of. And in a world where so many people feel like love doesn't exist, this person will never stop looking for it and never stop fighting for it. So when it comes to the state of this connection, the fact that we have Hagalaz here and then answers, like you guys got extra cards for both for both portions. And I feel like for a lot of you, there was some sort of chaos or destructive energy between the two of you that's over, that you both have learned a lot from, and that you've gained a lot of wisdom from. Or your connection with them has been creating a lot of fear and also bringing up a lot of like worries and triggers that you may have from past romantic relationships, past experiences. The fact that we have the Queen of Cups here tells me that you guys have an incredibly intuitive, not just incredibly intuitive, you have a very psychic connection with one another. It's likely you feel one another's energies, and it's also likely that you have just this very loving energy for one another. Like even if you want to be mad at the other, like you can't stay mad for very long. It seems like there's a very compassionate, understanding, nurturing energy between the two of you. Even though there's a singular figure here and this is a court card, I'm not taking this as one person. I'm taking this as if you could extrapolate the Queen of Cups as just a general energy. This energy between the two of you it's maturing, number one, but number two, it's soft, it feels safe, it's gentle, it's understanding, and it feels very like, it's almost hard to even put it into words. Like it's like, I didn't think that love could feel like this. And maybe you guys haven't talked about love yet, maybe you're not even there yet, but at least consciously, but I feel like there is just this very warm, loving energy between the two of you where both of you really do it for each other, in the sense that like you feel safe to be yourselves, you feel safe to open up about things. And I think that if this is someone from your past, maybe it was really hard to move forward and move on from this situation. Like if there was like something that happened between the two of you, if there was some sort of destruction or chaos that happened that like ended things or made you guys unable to stay connected, I definitely feel like you are looking at that from the past and being like, okay, with answers, like when you're communicating with them, I feel like you're gaining a lot of wisdom as to like, okay, I see why. It's almost like I kind of see why that had to happen in order for us to be where we are now. Like answers is a lot about wisdom, a lot about communication, speech. And so I feel like you guys are definitely talking or thinking about talking to one another. If you guys are not talking right now, I feel like you both are thinking about one another heavily, want to reach out to one another, may be afraid of rocking the boat, especially if this person is the one that kind of like did some not so cool things in the past. They may be afraid to approach you because they don't want to be rejected by you. One of the big things about the Queen of Cups, especially in the traditional Rider-Waite, is that her cup is the only one that's closed. And so I feel like one of the significant things about your connection with this person is that you have a special place in each other's hearts. And if this is a newer person, I definitely feel like both of you are afraid of chaos, afraid of something happening that's destructive, afraid of this energy not being real, or afraid that something might happen. I definitely think that past fears could be coming up. And the fact that we have the King of Swords here makes me feel like the both of you are working really hard to stay centered in a more logical energy and in just more of a cool, reflective, calm energy that is diplomatic and also keeping the both of you from getting swept up in your emotions to the point where you would make impulsive decisions or say or do things that don't align with the people that you are now. I definitely think that the both of you have either gained a lot of wisdom from your past experiences that are now helping, that you're now seeing like, oh, I see why these things had to happen. Like it's so that I could be ready for this person. Or if something happened between the two of you in the past, you're seeing like, oh, I see why it couldn't have worked out then. Like I needed to learn these things, I needed to grow, and vice versa. This is both of you. The energy of the connection is mutual. So I feel like if anything, there's definitely this energy of like, I really want to get swept up and lost in the vibes that exist between the two of us, but I'm gonna do my best to stay strong and stay clear, calm, and rational so that I don't, and really so that we don't get ourselves in a position that could be potentially destructive or put ourselves back in a state of being we don't want to be in, leave ourselves vulnerable to getting hurt. I definitely think though that there's a lot of mental clarity about why the past had to happen the way it was. There's a lot of awareness of like, wow, we've both grown a lot. Especially if this is a past person, I feel like both of you have acknowledged like how much you've grown, or you're thinking about that. If you're not currently communicating with them, the desire to communicate is there quite heavily. And if you're dreaming about them or feeling their energy a lot, they're definitely feeling the same way. I also would feel like if something did go down between the two of you in the past, like both of you are thinking about it a lot. And I definitely think that there's this energy of like understanding, I would say forgiveness, and also like acceptance that these things happened. And I wouldn't necessarily say gratitude, but at the very least, gratitude for the wisdom you both have gained from these experiences. And if this is a newer person, I can definitely see that both of you kind of feel like this, wow, this might really be something special. This might really be something that I've been looking for, I've been wanting, but what if it's too good to be true? What if something terrible happens? And just the fears around that. And I feel like both of you are doing your best to be like, okay, we can't control that. All we can do is just stay centered and in ourselves and be open and protect ourselves the best we can without building up walls or pushing each other away. And I feel like there's just kind of this beautiful energy right now where anything's possible. You know, one of the things about Hagalas as well is that like the chaos and destruction energy always leads to new beginnings. Like ice melts and it becomes water. So I feel like if there are harsh feelings from the past, a lot of that has dissolved but there still may be like uncertainty or trust that needs to be built. But I feel like both of you, whether this is a newer connection and you guys are, you know, still just kind of a little bit sore from past experiences, or just afraid of you know, afraid of this situation being the same as a past situation, I feel like you guys are like doing your best to stay clear and stay open so that you don't miss red flags or anything like that. I feel like both of you, no matter what your situation is, are in a fresh mindset where you both are more mature. You both have gained a lot of wisdom from your past experiences. You're seeing things differently, and you're looking at this situation from a place of, I'm gonna honor my heart here and keep exploring this, but I'm not gonna let myself get swept up in something. I'm not gonna let myself, you know, make any impulsive decisions that could lead to destruction. I'm not going to just get swept up in something or say yes to something prematurely. It's like you guys are exploring right now. Well, I guess less so exploring and more so, I guess exploring is an okay word, but it's more so like, I feel like the both of you are just very much taking in all of the good vibes between the two of you, all of the romantic feelings, the butterflies, like that, you know, that song, like the dandelion song, it's like, I'm gonna feel the dandelions wishing on everyone that you be mine. Like, it feels like the energy of that song. It's just very like sentimental and sweet and like loving. And I definitely feel like both of your inner cynics are like, well, maybe this is too good to be true, or like maybe this can't happen. But I definitely feel like no matter what, there is the potential for a new beginning for the both of you together. And both of you are thinking about that, thinking about whether you're ready for that. Is that something you truly want? And so I feel like you guys are kind of sussing that out and seeing like, all right, is that going to be the case? And if you're not talking about that and not communicating, you're both certainly thinking about that and thinking about each other. I think one of the biggest things is like the both of you are really reflecting on your past, whether it is a past you've had together or your past experiences that have made it really scary to be more vulnerable with one another and open your heart up to this. But I definitely feel like no matter what, there's a very genuine energy to this person. But I definitely think that it is very hard for them to open up, and it is very hard for them to share more of themselves. I feel like they don't even realize sometimes how low-key they can be and how much they can keep hidden. So I definitely think one of the best things that you can do with this person is to ask them questions and assume that if they're not telling you something, it's not because they're hiding it from you. It could just be they don't realize you want to know that, or they don't realize that that isn't obvious. I feel like this person, you're likely quite intuitive as well, considering we have the Queen of Cups for your connection for both of you. But I do feel like it may be harder for you to tap into your intuition around this person because your feelings for them may get in the way and may make it more challenging to trust intuitive insight, and it may cause you to doubt yourself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what they would say to you. And we are using the Queen herself, the Hermit Tarot's channel messages, to see what they would say. And while I'm shuffling, if you're interested, we are doing an extended, and in this extended, I'm gonna be doing a heart-shaped spread and just essentially spilling the tea on your person. Like things like how they see you, what they adore about you. We're gonna see like what their secret desires are, which could be potentially 18 plus. We're gonna see how your connection with them is influencing them. We're also gonna look at your mutual feelings for each other, as well as your synergetic superpower. So this energy you guys have together. Pile ones is really cool. So if you wanna check that out, that'll be linked down below. But if not, I'm just grateful you're here. And if you wanna support me in a free way, just liking the video or letting the ads play or leaving me a little comment are all really helpful ways, and I appreciate that. Thank you. If not, I'm just grateful you're here. So, man, I'm messing all these up. Okay. Pile 2's person, Spirit. What do they want to say to Pile 2? What messages do they have for Pile 2 at this time? What is the truth that they want? We have seek professional advice And I want you to choose pile 2's person. Spirit, what do they want to say to pile 2? We have your family won't like me. Pile 2's person. Spirit, what do they want to say to pile 2? We have wait. Pile 2's person. We have light. Ooh, okay. And a little spice at the end. Ooh, okay, that makes sense. We have I feel the same way on the bottom of the deck, which is the 2 of Cups. So I definitely feel like there is a lot that wanted to come through here. So I definitely think that for a lot of you, this could be someone from your past, or if this is a newer person, there's a heaviness around the 2 of you that may not make sense for, actually this should be on the other end. That may not make sense for the amount of time you've known one another. I definitely feel like this person is really invested and really cares about your connection. And if they did, you know, hurt you in the past or make mistakes, I definitely feel like they have gone to therapy. Like they have gotten professional help to better themselves. Like I feel like if this person could not see, if this person was out here smelling everybody else's farts but their own, they've definitely been realizing that their farts are stinky too. Metaphorically, but maybe literally. I definitely feel like they are trying to be, oh, are these all in the frame? Okay, yes. I feel like they're trying to be very cautious with you. And I also think, depending on who this person is, they are very worried about your family not approving of them. It could be like, for example, if maybe your family expects you to be with someone very masculine, maybe this person has a more feminine energy and they're afraid that your family won't approve of that. Or, you know, maybe if this is an LGBTQ connection, maybe they're afraid that your family won't approve of them, won't approve of your relationship. It could also just be though that like if, you know, they messed up in the past and your family knows about it, they could be very afraid of, you know, dealing with your family and just worried about like their approval. I will say one issue that this person has is that they not only want people to like them, but they are kind of a people pleaser. And I feel like at times they have created emotional pain in others because they were afraid to like tell them what was going on or how they were really feeling. Like I feel like this is the type of person, which I feel like they're growing from this, but this is the type of person who would ghost someone rather than tell them how they're feeling if they're like not interested anymore, because they're afraid of hurting their feelings by saying that they're not interested. And it's like, well, you know, it's even more hurtful if you just like stop talking to them. And I think that's one thing that they're realizing. I feel like this person is really hesitant because they want to make sure that they don't treat you in a way that they either treated you in the past or treat you in a way that would be unfair to you. They really value your connection and they do have deep feelings for you. They are someone though who likes someone who is more straightforward and upfront. So with this, I want you to choose if you've been feeling called to reach out to them, or like if you and them have been talking but it hasn't like gone to a more romantic space, I feel like they could be waiting for you to make the first move because they might feel like they don't deserve to make that move, or they might be afraid of that rejection. I do feel like this person is a bit passive and at times like may miss out on opportunities and may give people the wrong impression because they're too afraid to like make the first move. I definitely feel like they are wanting to take things slow no matter what, especially because like the energy between the two of you is so potent. They want to make sure that they are, number one, like thinking clearly through all of this, and number two, not making any destructive decisions. But you are definitely a light in their life. And one thing that I love is that there's this sun energy, and even the crystal you picked like looks like a sun, and it's literally called the golden healer. So I feel like there's this really golden energy between the two of you that is really healing. And I feel like neither of you want to mess that up, but also it feels so good. I feel like both of you could be very afraid of what might happen if things don't work out, or afraid of losing that. I definitely think there is some sexual energy here. They're definitely very attracted to you. If you ever randomly start thinking about them in a physical way, out of nowhere. It could be because they are, you know, thinking about that while they engage in certain activities. I definitely feel like with this Two of Cups here, they feel a special connection to you and they really care about what your family thinks. I feel like if this is a past person, they're definitely kicking themselves for how they behaved in the past. But I feel like it was very essential for them to see how they play a role in the situations they get into. I feel like in the past, they didn't see their behavior in things. I think there was kind of a selfish element to them where sometimes they were so caught up in their own feelings or so caught up in their own experience that they didn't stop to recognize how their behavior impacted others. In fact, if you haven't heard this from this person, I feel like one thing they will tell you is like, if you have a past with them, like I feel like they'll say like, I'm really sorry, I was so selfish, that wasn't right of me. Or if this is a newer connection, I feel like they might say, I was selfish in the past, or I was really dumb in the past, like I didn't treat people right, I didn't treat them fairly, and I thought I was. I feel like there is an innocence to the way that this person treated people, though. It's like it wasn't inherently malicious, it was just ignorance. And I feel like they have recognized that. I definitely think with this Weight card, like they do want to take things slow and they do want to see where things go. It's kind of like this thing where they want to see how this container of like good vibes and good energy, like, is this going to continue, or is this like a fleeting energy? I also feel like with Light here, one thing that they may not have liked about your connection, if this is a past person, is that, you know, your light and your heart may have made them aware of where they have shortcomings and where they have wounds. And I feel like they've realized, oh, it's not pile 2's fault that they showed me that. It's my responsibility to heal that. Pile 2 is actually, you know, giving me a gift in that way. I definitely think they, like I said, they are very attracted to you, and whatever you're feeling for them, I think they feel the same way. There's just a lot of fear in taking those next steps and making things more serious, because I feel like this person is afraid of, number one, getting hurt, and number two, just when, and I'm sure you understand this, when you feel very deeply, you know, it can be painful. Love can hurt, and it can be hard to make yourself vulnerable. But I feel like more than anything, this person is trying to find more balance, and they are seeking help. Like, I feel like another sign that this is your person is they're saying, like, they will tell you that they're in therapy, or that therapy has really helped them. Like, even therapy has saved my life, which, like, we love that. We love people that get therapy. I think therapy is awesome. But I definitely think that maybe one of the frustrating things is that you may want this person to take more action towards you or be more upfront about certain things, and they are just, that's not their nature. They are someone who kind of waits for others to make the first move. They are someone who is afraid to put those things out there, and I feel like their deepest wounds are around rejection, and so they are really hesitant to ask or open themselves up to questions or situations where they could be rejected. So I definitely feel like they would prefer for you to kind of make the first moves or instigate those conversations that you're wanting to have, because number one, there may be ones that they don't even realize you're wanting to have, and number two, you know, it may be that you're kind of in a position of power in the sense that if they messed up in the past, you know, if they kind of have their tail between their legs, it's like their pride might already be wounded, which it's like, I'll play the world's smallest violin for you, pile 2's person, but like, come on. They may just feel more secure and safe if you make certain moves first. But I definitely think that there is this, like, if you're expecting them to reach out like tomorrow and you're not talking to them, you may be waiting a little while. I feel like if you want to hear from them sooner, you may have to be the one to reach out. But if, I feel like eventually they will come around. But like, this is the type of person who will like your story or like an old picture. Like, they're not gonna like reach out and be like, hey, how are you? They're gonna like subtly do it, you know what I mean? And to where it's just like pulling teeth, and it's like, My Aries ass has a hard time with this energy, but I'm not shaming your person or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, you could get the job done a lot sooner if you just say what you want. But people are different, and I understand that. Anything else? I definitely feel like they're trying to find more balance. And one of the biggest things is that, like, this person has the desire to be their best self and wants to be their best self and wants to do things right with you. I feel like this person doesn't trust in the purity of their heart and is afraid of messing things up. And I feel like that hesitance creates a lot of uncertainty, but I feel like they want you to know that they do feel the same way about you. And I feel like it's very important to them that they take things slow, just so that, you know, things don't, so that it's not too much too soon. You know what I mean? But we're going to go ahead and get guidance for you now. And I guess I want to start by asking, like, if you should take action, what action should you take? So if you want to, if you don't want to, don't do anything. If pile 2 wants to take action towards the situation in this person, what action should they take? Okay. So the action that you should take is the action that brings you peace in your heart. Either do nothing and wait for this person to come to you if that's what feels right to you, or listen to what your heart is telling you to do. The fact that we have the Hermit card here, I feel like you might be doubting or not trusting your own internal guidance out of fear that you could be doing things wrong. Like, now is not the time to be asking others for what you should be doing, because the answers in your heart are the best ones. So if your heart says reach out, reach out. If your heart says let's have a conversation about the past, do that. If your heart says let's open the floor up to making things more serious, let's have a conversation about something, do it. Do whatever your heart is telling you. And if you don't have answers, do nothing until you do. This is really all about you honoring what's in your heart and recognizing that when you make decisions from your authentic self, those are always the best decisions, and you can't go wrong, because when you make decisions that honor your heart, you're always doing what's aligned with your highest good, and you're always, you know, putting yourself in the position to be like, yeah, I put my heart in it, I put my truth in it. But I think one of the worst things that you can do is overthink things. I feel like one of the things that you may need to do is kind of get to a place where you can kind of reduce mental chatter so that you can really listen to what your inner self is saying. Like, your inner self might be screaming, like, I want to tell this person, like, that I love them. And your brain might be being like, no, that's stupid, don't do that. I'll tell you a story. When I first started dating my ex-boyfriend, we were, like, just freshly dating, and he was dropping me off. And as I was getting out, I thought he said that he loved me. And so I said, I love you too. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I just do? And then I slammed the door and ran away and died inside my dorm room. And it was fine. The relationship ended up not working out, but it ended up not being a big deal. And I feel like even if, you know, you share feelings that the person, like, they feel the same way. They may not be able to say that yet, but at the very least, like, maybe you just need to be upfront about what you're feeling for them, and maybe you don't have to, like, say all of that yet, but at the very least, like, come to terms with or accept what your true feelings are. I mean, there's nothing wrong or shameful about feeling deeply, and I think the both of you have the ability to have a really beautiful, loving relationship with one another. And I feel like there's also this energy of ask for what you truly want. Don't play it cool. Don't push away what you truly want out of fear that you're asking for too much. What your heart desires is never too much. What other guidance do you have for pile 2, please, Spirit? What do they need to know? Ah, okay, we have the Ace of Cups. So I do feel like there are beautiful, beautiful opportunities to connect with this person. Like with the Ace of Cups, this is new beginnings with this person, new loving beginnings, like love abounds. I feel like if anything, any frosty vibes between the two of you, any icy exteriors you guys have with one another, they are quickly melting. And I feel like you really just need to trust your heart here, and also recognize that you have plenty of opportunities to share that. And if you don't have those opportunities, create them. Like, I love this picture because it's literally like an eye and a heart. Like, your heart knows what to do. You can trust yourself. And I guess one more, and I want to ask, what reassurance can you give pile 2 about this situation? What do they need to hear that could kind of ease their fears or help them? We have Justice. So I feel like what Spirit is really saying here is as long as you are doing what's right by you and doing what's fair, not compromising your boundaries, compromising your integrity, then you shouldn't stress about it. I also feel like with Detach here, I feel like there's a lot from your past that you may just need to make peace with, or at the very least, make sure that you've reached a place where you can move on from that. Because if you're not ready to fully let go of something, that could make it more challenging to connect with this person, or it may be more destructive than helpful if this person is trying to connect with you and you're like still hung up about something from the past. So I definitely feel like Spirit is saying the best thing that you can do is, you know, make sure you're doing what's fair for you. Focus on the decisions and the beliefs and the perspectives that bring you the most peace. And also let go of what makes you feel like you don't have power. Let go of whatever keeps you in a state of feeling like everything is going to implode. I also just feel like if you can remain diplomatic and remain fair to yourself, then at the very least, like no matter what happens, you can come back to yourself and be like, you know what, I did what was true in my heart. I did what was right for me. I was fair to this person. That's really all you can do. But I also just think that you're ready to move on from a place where you compromise your desires, you compromise your boundaries, or you compromise for people that, you know, don't have your best interests. And I feel like one thing you need to realize is that you're not the person that you were, and you have grown. And I feel like one of the best things that you could do for yourself actually is just affirm the person that you are now. Affirm your worth, affirm your kind heart. And yeah, this is the Six of Cups. Affirm like you're worthy of love. Be kind, be gentle, and let your heart lead you in general, because I don't think you'll regret it. And I feel like there's a lot of love to be shared between the two of you. So pile 2, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can check out the extended link down below, where I'm going to spill the tea on your person and what's in their heart. You can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. I just hit my table. You can check out my merch, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASO10 for 10% off. Shout out to my notification squad if you want me to see your comments. I usually see them when I first upload, and then after that it's up to fate. You can check out other videos. You can, I don't know, send good vibes my way. I'm sending them your way. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the sorry, my voice got all weird for a second. The aura-coded Amethyst. I said it. And the Pastel Journey Tarot. This is going to be your reading on channeled messages from your person. Now, who your person is, we will see. This may be a person you're asking about. This may be someone that you weren't anticipating hearing about. And if it is someone if it resonates but you don't want to hear about it, don't force yourself to watch it. But if you get yourself, and you don't want to watch about yourself, please feel free to pick another group. I'm sure there's a group for you that isn't you. I think it's normal and common to be drawn to our own energy, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's also nothing wrong with workshopping a little bit and moving around to make sure you found the right group. That's why I do the energy checks, so that you don't have to just guess and hope you found the right group. It's so that you can affirm for yourself, yes or no, this is for me or this isn't for me. But welcome to your reading. Thank you for being here. If you'd like a full breakdown of the reading, there is one in the intro. We are going to start by looking at who the person is that's coming through for you, that we're going to be getting channeled messages from, and what the state / energy of your connection is with them. So Spirit, who is the person coming through for pile 3? Who are we going to be channeling messages from? Who has a message for pile 3? Who has a message? Okay. And what is the state of the connection between pile 3 and this person? Thank you. Okay. So, starting by looking at who this person is, we have Judgment. We have the Queen of Cups. We have Lost Parrot and Hummingbirds. And then as for the state of this connection, we have the Six of Swords. We have the Four of Pentacles and Righto. I always forget how to pronounce that one, so if you want to correct me, feel free to. But this is really interesting. For some of you, you may have clicked on this video and been like, I don't even know why I'm watching this. I don't have a person. I feel like, well, yes, you do. Like, all of it. Your person doesn't have to be specifically yours, but I'm getting a couple scenarios of who this person could be. One of the most interesting scenarios that I'm getting is that for some of you, this is someone that you either haven't met yet in this lifetime, or someone that you feel in your heart, but they are not a part of your life yet. Like, the best way I can describe this feeling is you get this loving yearning in your heart, or this peaceful, loving energy for a fleeting moment that just feels familiar, and it almost feels kind of a little sad to feel when it happens, because it's like there's someone in your heart and you either don't know who they are, or they're not meant to be part of your journey this lifetime. Actually, I only take that if that resonates. I'm not the I would never say anything for sure, but it could be a situation where, like, maybe this person didn't incarnate in this lifetime, or maybe you guys chose to have separate journeys, but you're still deeply connected on a soul level. And so, you know, there's just like energy exchange between the two of you, and you feel that in your heart space. But for some of you, this could be a future person that you're already connected to in your heart, but you just haven't met yet. For others, I definitely feel like this is someone from your past that you either never got to be with romantically, but there were romantic feelings there. Someone that there was a lot of potential, but things just never worked out. With the Hummingbirds card, it could be someone that you met really quickly, or met on an off chance, and then it's like you never got the chance to reconnect, or things never got the chance to get off the ground. This could be a lost love sort of situation, or even a situation where you had feelings for this person, but they were never yours. Things never panned out the way you hoped they would. In terms of the Judgment card and the Queen of Cups, for confirmation, this person could have Scorpio placements specifically, or Cancer or Pisces placements. They don't have to, but water energy is quite significant here. And I definitely feel like this person has a very prominent, very powerful energy. My favorite description of Judgment is, actually, I have the book right here, is in the Wonderland in Tarot deck. And it describes Actually, let me just read it for you because it's such a good description of Judgment, and I actually really enjoy the guidebook of this deck. Like several other cards in the tarot deck, this one could do with a new name. Judgment as a name implies being judged. In addition, the traditional imagery, an angel surrounding a horn and dead people rising from their graves, suggests the biblical story of the Last Judgment, where all people, living and dead, would be judged. Maybe centuries ago, the card was interpreted this way. However, as human consciousness evolves, so too does our understanding of the cards. It is now more common to recognize this card is a gift and an opportunity. In Wonderland, particularly in Tenniel's iconic illustrations, the playing card people, other than the royalty cards, are shown as flat, as if they are actually made of cardstock. In some ways, they are metaphors for two-dimensional people. In this image, they hear the white rabbit's trumpet. As they respond, they find themselves filling out and, like Pinocchio, becoming real three-dimensional people. They are, in short, coming to life, or more accurately, to new life, since they were already alive in some sense of the word. The white rabbit in the sky takes the place of the traditional angel. In Wonderland, he plays the role of the herald during the Knave of Hearts trial. Heralds were, among other things, the messengers of the nobility. They were sometimes experts in law or known for giving moral guidance, which explains why in the text the rabbit was able to take control of the proceedings of the trial, even to the point of contradicting the king. He was the voice that represented an order that was higher than earthly jurisdiction. During the trial, Alice waits, curious about the next witness to be called. Imagine her surprise when the white rabbit read out at the top of his shrill little voice the name Alice. Oh my gosh, I have had no problems with my voice until I started this reading. When she takes a stand, the story reaches its climax and it ends with Alice asserting her will and her sense of what is meaningful in the face of nonsense and violence. The white rabbit did not only call Alice to the stand, he called her to become the person he knew she should be. In a reading, Judgment marks an invitation to hear a higher voice. Clearly not one as raspy as mine right now. Perhaps your preferred deity or your own higher self and follow its call. You have the opportunity to leave behind an old life and embrace a new way of living. Humans, though, are resistant to change and try to ignore this call, especially if their old life was not so bad. It is even harder to change your ways if your current life is actually good and comfortable. Plus, answering this call means some kind of death, since you will be leaving behind parts of you, some behaviors, some beliefs behind. A call like this, though, resonates deeply in your heart, and unless you shut down your heart entirely, you won't be able to resist it forever. After you begin living in this new way, when you look back on your old life, you will see that it was kind of a half-life, a cardboard life, lacking depth and dimension. So I probably didn't need to read all of that, but I just really like the description of 2D becoming 3D. And then the mention of higher self energy. I guess for some of you, this could be your own higher self coming through, especially if you resonate with Queen of Cups energy, which is very compassionate, nurturing, very psychic, very in tune with others, very generous, warm, and kind-hearted. But I feel like even if that's coming through, there's definitely a lot of energy here around whoever this person is. Like, for some of you, this person is not a part of your life anymore, but they are someone who you probably don't even think about very often, but there are just times where they pop into your awareness or you feel their energy and you either think of them fondly or think of them in a bittersweet context, or in a context where if there are no fond memories of that time, you kind of like reflect on where you've been and where you are now. And I think that there's this almost like sense of empowerment that maybe comes from your recognition of like, I'm not in that space anymore. I'm not where I was. I definitely feel like for some of you, though, there could be a yearning and a missing for this person. It seems like birds are connected to them in some way because we have hummingbirds and a parrot here. But I also feel like for a lot of you, this is someone's higher self coming through that you haven't met yet or that you're connected to, and your fate in terms of meeting them is uncertain. I feel, and that is actually the example that I'm getting the most strongly for a lot of you. Maybe you resonate with like multiple descriptions here. That's absolutely okay. But I do feel like no matter what, this is someone that has been a transformative force in your life, and someone that even if you wouldn't prefer how things happen between the two of you, you're grateful for the lessons or grateful for the person that you became. And if you haven't met them yet, I feel like there's this weird energy where you feel this sentimentality about someone you've never met, or you just feel this longing and yearning that you can't quite verbalize or understand, because it's like you don't have the awareness of who this is. You might have ideas, but you could easily write that off as your imagination or as wishful thinking. And I definitely feel like in your case, if this is someone that you know from your past, like you've gone through some intense things with them, and they've really stretched your heart, and they probably put you through it a bit, and you've definitely come out on the other side a lot stronger. But I definitely feel like some of you would be of the mentality, like, if I could have gone back in time and warned myself, I probably would. It's like, I don't think you regret the person you've become, but maybe if you could have avoided some of those lessons or that person, you probably would have. But for others, this is someone that maybe you never really got to know that deeply, but their energy had such a deep impact on you. I'm thinking of the movie. I haven't seen it, but I know the plot of it. I think it's called Before Sunrise, and I'm pretty sure it's about like two people that meet by chance, and they have this like romantic night together, and they connect very deeply, and they end up parting ways, and the movie ends. And so it could be a situation like that with someone that you connected with really deeply for a brief moment in time, and now that moment is lost in time, and it still sits in your heart. It's still, you still think about them. So that could be the person coming through for you, or the higher self of a person that is in your heart that you haven't met yet, that you feel connected to, and that you feel like you are meant to meet. And it could be quite possible as well that their influence in your life has been a container for transformation as well. In terms of the state of this connection, for those of you who knew this person and were with them at one point in a romantic sense, I definitely feel like this is someone that you've moved on from. Like, you've moved on from the situation. You're at a different place in your life. And I can definitely see here that on a personal level, there's a desire for you to kind of just really put the past in the past, keep moving forward. I feel like if there's resentment or frustration you're holding on to, you're really desiring to let that go and just be more open-hearted. But I feel like with the Four of Pentacles here, there's still a hesitancy to really open yourself up to others, or open yourself up to new people or new experiences, because what you went through in the past was probably quite jarring. I definitely feel like you're likely not communicating with this person. It seems like if anything, both of you are kind of holding back and, you know, see that as like a place in time. Maybe this person thinks about you more often than you think about them, which I guess that would make sense if they fumbled an icon like you. That must really suck for them, but you know, we reap what we sow, right? For those of you where this is someone who you met briefly and had like a powerful connection with them, but you know, things just didn't progress. Maybe you didn't have a way to contact them, or maybe it was just like, you know, we had this brief encounter, but it wasn't meant to be something further, at least for that at that point in time. It's like you're not where you were when you were connecting with them. With the Six of Swords, we have two cards indicating a lot here about travel and movement, and it seems like even though you're in a different place, you're still kind of stuck on this situation and holding on to the feelings you had when you were talking to them, the feelings that you had. Because I guess also I do want to mention, it could be that maybe you met this person online. Maybe it wasn't an in-person meeting, but maybe it was someone that you connected with online and had a really deep connection to, and maybe they disappeared, or maybe, you know, things just didn't work out and you didn't understand why. And so it's kind of like things are different. You've moved forward in life, but there's this melancholic yearning where you're like considering like what could have been and why things happened the way they did and why did they have to happen. It's like you're definitely focused on moving forward and focused on your own journey and focused on what is best for you. But I can definitely see here that you may be hanging on to certain aspects of the past when it comes to this situation, because you just haven't fully processed it. There's still like elements of it that you need to explore, just need to like process. And so it seems like you may be trying to push it away by just trying to move forward. And it seems like no matter how far you move forward, this energy is still carried with you. And then for those of you where you haven't met this person yet, it seems like you're in a place where you're holding on to this feeling with curiosity and like a sense of wonderment. And like, I feel like you're really in this place where you just want the universe to give you more answers about this situation, which, hi, hello, I hope I can give you more of those. Thank you for choosing me to do that. I definitely think that there's this desire to move towards what could lead you to this situation, to this person, and also just a wondering of like, does it exist? Is it real? I feel like you're kind of in this position where you're really trying to do what's best for you. I feel like for some of you, you've said the words explicitly, like, I'm in my healing era. You're definitely doing you, and we love that. I'm also getting Samantha vibes from Sex and the City. So for some of you, you might be in like a Samantha era, which we love. She's the most iconic one in my opinion. But I also definitely think that there's some part of you holding on to your past or holding on to uncertainty and maybe just kind of like having a hard time opening up to new life and new experiences, because no matter what, the common theme with all of you here is that there is some energetic remnants or energetic presence of someone who has deeply impacted you in the past or has such a deep impact on you that you haven't even met them and you feel them and they are involved in your life. So I can definitely see how this could be kind of frustrating, especially if you're trying to move away from the situation or if you have zero clarity on why this situation is occurring. But I definitely think that there's kind of this really honestly like good energy with you where you're like taking things day by day. You're on your own cycle. You're doing pile 3, and I love that for you. It's like you're kind of on your own journey and focused on your role in it. But you would be lying if you said that this person didn't pop in your head from time to time, or this unexplainable feeling and yearning for someone that you don't understand pops in your head, or this, you know, this feeling of like, what if we had explored this further? What if things had worked out? Or what if we had kept in touch? Like, what might have happened then? I definitely see all of those scenarios coming through. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to translate for the channeled messages, which is what we're going to get now. If you want to explore more about this person, how they see you, things like that, we're going to be looking at that in the extended. I'm doing like a little heart-shaped spread, and we're looking at things like how this person sees you, what they adore about you, their desires, their secret desires for you, which could potentially be 18 plus. We're also going to be looking at things like the synergy of this connection, the mutual feelings you have for one another, and how you/your connection with this person has impacted them. So definitely going to be an interesting one because there's going to be quite a few interpretations. So if you want to join me for that ride, that will be linked down below. But if not, we'll definitely make sure to get some good guidance for you. Because this is a channeled messages reading, it may not provide all the clarity you're looking for, but I also am a strong believer in the idea that when we're ready for answers, they find us. And if we don't have them yet, there's a reason for it. But hopefully I can give you more of those, and hopefully this resonates. But if you want to just kind of focus on the scenario that really resonates for you, or if you resonated with multiple and you would prefer to get messages from one or the other, maybe focus your energy on that person, even if you don't know who they are, which is a challenging thing, right? I feel really called to say, if you resonate with that scenario, like, you're not crazy. It's not crazy to think that someone you're deeply connected to, you would feel their energy and know in your soul that they exist, know in your heart that they exist. You just don't have confirmation yet. You just don't have that validation yet. But that doesn't mean that what you're experiencing is not real. It just means you have less material validation to go off of. Okay. The person coming through for pile 3, Spirit, what would they like pile 3 to know? We have no. Okay, what are they saying no about? I am manifesting you. Okay, interesting. You matter. That flew out, like flew out. Please give me time. I've never felt this way before. Oh, okay. Wow, these are... I'm too afraid to talk to you and I just want you all the time. And on the back of the deck, we have I am terrified. Wow, okay. We got a lot going on here. Let me just take this off. Oh, yes, lots of 8s and 9s. So maybe someone was born in 1989, 1988, 1998, 1999. It's very interesting. Lots of 9s and 8s. Maybe that's an apartment number. Maybe that's a country code, or like a telephone country code, or an area code of some kind. But this is quite interesting. And shout out to the Hermit Tarot for being an incredible human being who makes great cards, because I can definitely pull interpretations from all of the examples that I gave. So starting with those of you that were with this person in the past and they put you through it, or, you know, even if I'm trying to, I can't talk, which makes sense, because as soon as I started this video, I my voice got like very raspy, and like, I can see why this person is afraid to talk, because it's really challenging me. But for some of you, this is someone who you are like, I am not interested in them, like I've moved on from that. But for others, it's like, yes, we had an intense experience, like yes, there were highs and lows, but like I still think of them fondly, like I still care about them, like I still, like, for some of you, you think fondly of this person, for some of you, you do not. Like, so just bear with me. No matter what your perspective is, it is valid, and you are valid. But as I'm giving this, I just want you to remember that to take what resonates here and to not hold on to what isn't yours. So for those of you where this is someone from your past, I definitely feel like the common thread for all of you is that this person either rejected you or things did not work out here. I can definitely see that if they rejected you or pushed you away in some way, they regret it. And their rejection of you was not from a place of you not being good enough, or from a place of them not caring about you. It was definitely from a place of, I think that the intensity of the connection was too much for them. And I think that they couldn't handle how deeply they felt for you. And I feel like they kind of recognized like they were in over their heads. It makes me think, this is a bad example, but it makes me think of if you're playing The Sims 4 and your sim is reading a skill book that is too high of a level for them, they get tense, and it doesn't make sense for them because they're not at that level yet. That's kind of, in that situation, like you are the high level skill book and this is this person trying to read you, like it just stresses them out. I feel like they kind of knew they weren't able to be in connection with you in the same way. Another example that I'm getting is if you're like me and love to take like really, really hot showers, it's like this person couldn't take the hot water. Like what was comfortable for you was uncomfortable for them. Maybe literally, but like I meant that more like metaphorically. It's like the intensity, the level of intensity and seriousness that you're comfortable with, I don't think that they have been very comfortable with that. And I think whatever happened in the past, they certainly weren't ready for that. And I think that your connection with them, or potentially relationship with them, was a container for them to really be put through it and see themselves in much different ways. It's like, I don't think they had ever been so seriously affected by someone. And especially if you guys didn't meet in person, like if this was an online sort of thing, it's like this person could have felt like they couldn't handle meeting you in person, or like they could have built you up so much in their head that they were like, well, if they meet me and it doesn't work out. It's almost like you were safer as a fantasy than as a reality. But for some of you, this person just may have not been mature enough at the time to be what you needed to be in connection with you in that way, and it may have not been what they wanted. They may not have wanted something so intense, but I feel like they're at a different place now. The interesting thing is that I've been getting a lot of your energy and less so this person's, and I feel like in their case, I didn't interpret a lot of their energy in terms of this connection between the two of you. If you haven't met this person, I definitely think that they have those same feelings, it makes me think of like, I used to see tweets on Twitter back when it was Twitter and back when the internet didn't suck so much, that was like, I wonder what my future husband is doing right now. Like, I hope they're doing well. And it's kind of like that vibe. You know what I mean? Like, they may not know you, but they still feel fondly for you. It's like they may not be able to articulate that experience, but it's like if they feel your energy or they feel you in their heart, it's like a very comforting experience, and also just like kind of a bummer because they yearn to understand why that's there and where it's coming from. And I feel like they're also on their own journey and they're kind of really focused on themselves and a bit closed off. If this is someone from your past, I feel like they've also tried to move on, and they are moving on. They've moved forward. They've definitely moved on from a lot of destructive patterns and behaviors. They've transformed a lot, but I definitely think they're on their own journey, and they are quite closed off emotionally still. I feel like they're still working through a lot. And that makes a lot of sense. I feel like for those of you where this was a chance encounter, I also feel like this person maybe wasn't open to the intensity of it. And it kind of matches with, well, it does match with a past person, but it's the nuance here is that for some of you, this is someone that you did have a prolonged, intense connection with, and that you are not in connection with now, that you don't communicate with now, that you think of from time to time, that you feel their energy from time to time. And for others, this was someone that you connected with intensely for a brief moment in time, and it has not. And since then, you've been left wondering, like, what would have happened? Like, why did that happen? Like, why did this person come in? Does that make sense? But anyway, back to the channel messages. You definitely are someone that they look at very highly. And I'm going to interpret for past person, and then we're going to do future person. So for those of you where this is a past person, I do feel like they want you back in their life, but they are not ready to have you back in their life. I feel like they are very afraid of rejection from you. And for those of you where you didn't meet this person in person, or for those of you where this was very brief, I feel like they're hoping to find a way to connect with you. Maybe they don't have a way to connect with you. If you're wondering, like, if your meeting and encounter was as impactful for them as it was for you, the answer is yes. They didn't forget you. And for those of you where you knew this person, where you were in connection with this person for longer than a brief period of time, they didn't value you the way that you deserve to be valued, and they didn't recognize the value of what they had, and that's definitely something coming through here. I also feel like with Please Give Me Time, I've never felt this way before. They are definitely taking their sweet time, like trying to work on themselves, because I feel like if y'all have been through some stuff, they may be really afraid to be rejected by you and have that door closed forever. But they also may recognize like what is required for them to be in connection with you, and they're working up to that, you know, becoming that person, and they're in that process. It's like they definitely don't value themselves very much. They definitely put you on a pedestal. And I can see here that they don't want to instigate things prematurely, or they're afraid to reach out to you because like they may have no idea how you see them. They may also just be afraid that you don't care, that you've moved on. And maybe that's the case. And if it is, so be it. Like, you do you. But I can definitely see here that you may pick up on their energy at times because they're thinking about you a lot, especially with I just want you all the time. Like, if you had a physical connection with them, I definitely think that I have to honor what came through. For some of you, you might be a glizzy god or goddess, which Love that for you. Welcome to the club. I did not just admit that on the internet, but yeah, I did. And you know what? I'm proud of it. Anyway, if you didn't meet this person, or if this was brief, I feel like they have a lot of fantasies about you and they really miss connecting with you. It's quite possible that there could have been something in their life that made them feel like they weren't worthy of you, or their own insecurities or setbacks were too much for them. They were not able to step up or push things further. I mean, there's definitely a lot of fear when it comes to this connection for them, no matter what your situation is. And I definitely feel like they think about you all the time. They want you all the time. And I would not be shocked if the universe is using your influence and your energy as a catalyst for this person to grow and evolve, which makes a lot of sense. That can happen a lot. I'm sorry, I don't know why my voice is doing this. Well, I do know it's because your person's got a blocked ass throat chakra and they need to deal with it. But yeah, it's affecting me. They definitely oscillate between like, I want to talk to pile 3 so bad, like they desire you, but they're too afraid to do anything about it. So it's kind of like their own little personal hell where it's like they have to sit with all this energy and they just accept, like, that all they can do is just be with it and tolerate it. They're like Edward Cullen in biology class with Bella. I hope that is the limits of how your situation resonates with Twilight, but unless it's from a meme perspective. Anyway, for those of you where this is someone that you haven't met, they do not understand this feeling either. And one thing that you guys have in common is that a lot of promising pathways and potentials and people have been, like, doors have been slammed in your face. Rejections have been abundant. Like, things that seemed promising haven't worked out. And it seems like for both of you, you've just kind of been through the ringer. And it's like things that seem promising, it's like you build up hope and then something else doesn't work out. And then something else doesn't work out. And it's like both of you are definitely very tired. And like, I don't know how much more I can take from the universe. I don't know how much more I can take from life. Like, I can understand why the both of y'all are like, I need to microdose life right now because I can't you are not raw dogging life right now. You are like barely even dipping your toes in, and I don't blame you. I definitely feel like they are searching for you in their heart. They may not consciously realize it, but they are looking for someone like you. They want someone like you in their life. Like, and I feel like they likely don't connect that fleeting feeling of love and nourishment and like connection to you yet, but I feel like the dots will connect and the puzzle pieces will connect when you meet one another, when you find one another. I definitely feel like both of you are going through individual processes right now where both of you are facing fears and moving forward from the past. I definitely think with I'm too afraid to talk to you, I think that's more so like they don't have a way to talk to you because they haven't met you yet. But it could be possible that when you do meet them, or if you have maybe met them and you're kind of wondering, like, is this person? They may be quite intimidated by you. And you may find, like, one of the confirmations that this is the person is that you may feel very intensely for them, but the interactions that you have with them are quite short or quite cordial. It seems like this person is kind of almost formal with you in a way that's, like, maybe like, oh, I don't think this person likes me, and that might be kind of hard. But I think that's because you make them nervous. I feel like if you have a lot of desire for this person, a lot of desire to meet this person, they feel the same way. And I think you both have a lot of similar fears about not being enough, about not finding the right person. And I feel like both of you right now are making moves in your lives where it's like if if checkmate is meeting one another, the universe is like setting up your puzzle pieces to make it happen. Your chess pieces, not your puzzle pieces. Well, I guess it could be puzzle pieces, but a checkmate doesn't belong in a puzzle. I'm struggling with words in this reading. Thank you for your grace. But I do feel like for those of you where this was someone that you had kind of a chance encounter with, I do feel like they are absolutely afraid of reopening that door, because it is easier to just like not expose themselves and be vulnerable in that way. I feel like they're still kind of just processing like their feelings around the situation and what they want to do, if they can do anything. But I feel like in general, they're going through a lot in their life where they're like working through a lot of intense fear. And I feel like, once again, your energy being used as a catalyst, I feel like they could definitely have some pretty intense regrets about the way they handled things. That goes for all of you where this is a past person. And I feel like they are definitely holding back until they feel ready to kind of face things head on. And I definitely think they're building themselves up, and it's likely that they have things in their own personal life that they have to attend to. Like, you both are definitely on highly individual cycles. And I mean, the fact that you literally have the number 1, the numbers 9, and the number 8, which 8s to me speak to leadership. 9 is such an independent number. It's also a number that's close to completion, but it's not quite there yet. And 1, I mean, hello, it's the number 1. So, which is creation, new beginnings, manifestation. So I definitely feel like you both are on these highly like individual cycles right now, but the energy of your connection is still playing out in ways that are helping the both of you grow. And I feel like it's a lot, it could be quite intense for you. I don't want to invalidate your own experience, but because I'm channeling, you know, your person's experience, it's quite intense for them. So for you, it may be something more so where like this person pops in your mind and you might feel fondly, or you might miss them, or you might yearn for them, or you have that feeling and you're like, what is this? Like, why does this feeling come in? Like, where is this person? Like, I know they exist. I know they're in my heart. Like, why aren't they here? But I feel like it's something that you're kind of able to let go of and brush off in a way that I don't think your person is able to, unless they are in the camp of they haven't met you yet. But I feel like it still is more intense for them, because I have this feeling like they have to make more moves in the physical realm to like get to where you are, or get to where like the universe is ready for them. Like, they might have to travel, or they might have to change jobs, or like something like that. And maybe that's the case for you as well, but I just feel like there's less intensity around the reasons why you're doing it. Like, I feel like if you're making significant changes, it's because they resonate with you. It's because you're ready for them. It's because you're doing what's right for you, and you're saying yes to yourself more. Whereas for this person, it's like, I feel like they're making incredibly necessary changes to course correct from past mistakes, and also to move on from a life that has been just like suffocating them. Damn. Okay, so let's get some guidance for you, because I just channeled a lot, and I may be leaving you with even more questions than answers, and I apologize for that, but I hope at the very least I've given you some validation and some clarity. This is some intense stuff, but we got some bad bitches in this group. Bad bitches is gender neutral. And I love a baddie. Okay. Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 3 when it comes to this situation and this connection, please? What does pile 3 need to know? Okay, wow. So we have the 7 of Swords, seek the truth, and the 3rd eye chakra. So you need to trust your intuitive faculties more. Like, I definitely feel like you're having highly intuitive experiences. I feel like you're experiencing psychic phenomena related to this person, and you are invalidating it because you're like, oh, it's probably not that, or like, I don't have evidence. Like, you're definitely gaslighting yourself. So stop doing that, because that's not fair to you. And also, I feel like we've been conditioned to just rob ourselves of the magic that exists in our life. And you have every right to, number one, validate yourself. And number two, allow your delusions to be okay. Like, you see them as delusions, but it's really just you honoring the the psychic perceptions that you're picking up on. I definitely feel like there is some self-sabotaging energy that makes it really hard for you to trust yourself and trust your intuition. And I feel like in terms of your personal life, you really need to trust where your heart is leading you and where you're feeling intuitively drawn to, because you are being drawn exactly where you need to go. Do not let your conscious mind keep you small. Obviously, you know, we shouldn't just throw caution to the wind and be insanely reckless, but like, if you're feeling called to make a significant change, like, don't hold yourself back just because you're afraid of what might happen, or you're saying no to yourself. Like, give yourself the gift of change. Like, even if change doesn't work out, you can always come home. That's the cool thing about home, is that like, it's always a place you can go back to. But I feel like the truth is behind the ways in which you try to like be rational. Like, a lot of things that are quote unquote rational are actually completely irrational, and they're just based in our human conditioning. And so I feel like you're really being encouraged to let go of your need for answers and recognize that the truth is not in your conscious mind, it's in your intuitive mind. And truth in your intuitive mind doesn't always make sense. It's communicated to you in symbols, in dreams, in signs, and oftentimes it doesn't come out with like a clear answer. It's an answer that you're led to over time, and that, you know, the universe kind of guides you to, and it reaches you in the right way at the right time. But I definitely feel like you're connecting with this person on a psychic level, or you're having psychic insights about this person and seeing the situation much more clearly than you realized, especially if like what I'm saying really resonates for you and really validates your experience. Like, that's all the more reason why you need to trust yourself. Like, you have a much better idea of what's going on than I think you're giving yourself credit for. And if you just validate that, I feel like that could be really freeing. And maybe just writing down the phenomena you're experiencing, the dreams that you might have, anything like that, I feel like that could all be really useful. What other guidance do you have for pile 3, Spirit? Anything else? Yeah, we have daydreams and decisions. So I feel like you're really being encouraged to give yourself time to contemplate. I feel like you have a lot of options for how things could move forward at this time, and where your life could head. And I feel like that's why it's so important for you to honor where you're intuitively being led, to honor what's in your heart, and to make those decisions. Like, yeah, she's literally making a heart symbol here, because you could really sell yourself short and make decisions that, pardon my French, but fuck yourself over, because you're playing it small and you're holding yourself back and not really going for what you want. Like, this is the time to choose yourself and go for what you want. We have 2 7s here, and sevens are also a highly personal number, and they're all about learning and growth. And also make me think of the Chariot, which, like, I feel like you're building balance in your life, and I feel like you're being encouraged to, number one, not stay so lost in fantasy that you don't make any changes in reality. Like, continue moving towards the changes that excite you, that make you feel hopeful about the future, that feel like they align with you and resonate with you. But also, don't make decisions from a place of fear. Now is not the time to do that. Now is not the time to play it small. Now is not the time to do things because it's sensible or it's practical. Do the thing that you like. When you're really trying to decide whether it's worth it or not, ask yourself, will I regret not experiencing this when I look back on my life? Life is too short to say no to what truly sets your heart on fire, what truly could be a powerful experience, because you're afraid of what might happen if you do that. But I just kind of want to finish off by asking if there's anything you need to know about this person or this situation that could give you more clarity. So, Spirit, is there any clarity you can give pile 3 about their person or this situation? We have the Devil. So I definitely feel like there is attachment here. And a lot of this attachment right now is about you breaking free from what's holding you back. I definitely feel like this catalyst energy is extended to you as well, where this person's energy is serving as a catalyst. I do feel like also there are blockages in your heart that this person and this energy like is exacerbating, so that you can get more in tune with it and not keep it locked up. But I also feel like there's a lot of opportunities for empowerment here, and opportunities to recognize that you're not trapped to the past, you're not chained to anyone or anything, and that you don't have to be stuck in a situation. Like if you're in that group where you're like, I don't want this person to come back into my life, I don't give a rat's ass if they're manifesting me, like, then I feel like one thing Spirit is saying is, then okay, like just continue to say no and let go of how this, and letting go is a lot easier said than done, but doing the work to be able to let go of the ways in which that situation and that person created blockages or walls in your heart that have made it hard for you to be open again. I feel like what you need to know is that you're on a powerful journey right now where you're truly breaking free in a lot of ways, and realizing how important it is for you not to live life. Are you serious? So many dirty messages. To not live life with a half job. Why? I'm saying that to whomever, hoopst I'm channeling, but don't half-ass life, whole ass it. Like, you deserve that. And I also feel like, you know, this is an opportunity to break free of cycles around control, and feeling like keeping yourself small because you're able to control that, rather than letting go of control and seeing where the universe wants to lead you. It's almost like if you're in your own little paper boat, it's like you're keeping it, you're holding on to the shore and not letting the current carry you anywhere because you're afraid of where you might go. And the universe is saying, stop it, let us carry you. But yeah, on the back of the deck, we have the Three of Cups, and it says share the love. And so I really feel like you're just being encouraged to do what makes your heart happy, to uplift yourself, add more joy to your life, and really just do things that are healing for your heart. And solely because they are, like, whether that is indulging in childhood movies, or, you know, spending time with friends that make you feel good, or just giving yourself more time to be with yourself and be gentle with yourself, like, do that. I definitely feel like there is an attachment to this person or this situation that both of you have going on. And I think what is meant to happen here is heavily dependent on what the cycles, what the lessons are for both of you, where you're at as you move through this, and how, you know, heart healing energy and being open-hearted will shift your perspective and give you clarity on what you want, on what you don't want. And it'll be very personal for all of you, but it'll be something where you are able to make better decisions for yourself and get more clarity on why this situation was in your life. And it clearly has like functional purposes in your life. And a lot of those purposes right now are to help you break free and be more open-hearted in the world and honor what's in your heart. And beyond that, what happens between the two of you, I think, is really up to the both of you, and up to where your healing leads you to, and where your own personal journey leads you to. No matter what, though, there's some bad bitch behavior in this, and I know you're going to do just fine, and I'm really proud of you. So, pile 3, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background, because that is one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can check out the extended. You can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. We have the sun candle out. Be sure to use code ESO10 for 10% off. You can check out other videos, my fat juicy ass, just kidding. I've sworn too much in this reading. I really hope I don't get demonetized again. At least I didn't say the C word. I wanna, but I didn't. Okay, I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, shout out to my notification squad if you want me to see your comments. I usually see them when I first upload. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, whenever it is that you watch this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Rainbow Heart and the Gothmancy Tarot deck, this is going to be a reading on channeled messages from your person. And by your person, I just mean whoever is coming through here. This could be someone you're asking about. This could be someone that you didn't anticipate asking about. If you have no idea who it is and it's not resonating, then this isn't your reading. But if who I am describing sounds like yourself and you don't want to hear about yourself, please just pick a different group. You do not have to stick to the first pile that you choose, especially if it doesn't sound right or it doesn't resonate. The reason why I do the energy checks is so that you can determine for yourself whether the reading is for you or not. So, while I'm shuffling, if you want to go ahead and just focus on hopefully invoking the person that you're asking about, feel free to do that. If you'd like a full breakdown of the reading, there is one in the intro, but I'm going to use this deck to shuffle a card to represent who this person is and a card to represent the current energy / situation of your connection. So, who is coming through for Pile 4 Spirit? Who are we getting channel messages from for Pile 4 today? Who has something to say to Pile 4? And what is the current state of the connection between Pile 4 and this person, please? Okay. So, for who this person is, we have the Page of Swords. We have the Six of Cups, and we have phone call. And then as for the current situation of your connection with them, we have strength, we have the Hanged Man, and we have Legos. So, one really cool thing is that in most of the groups, a court card has come out, so I've appreciated that. As for who this person is, I wouldn't be shocked if you've heard from them recently or they are someone from your past. I mean, we do have the Six of Cups here. They don't have to be. You could have a feeling of familiarity with them or just happy memories. With the Page of Swords here, they could be less mature than you or they could be keeping things very on the surface, like very surface level, very light with you. Or it could be that maybe your relationship with them didn't progress much deeper than just pleasantries, formalities. Even if you had a deep connection in the past, it seems like this person is in an energy that's very casual. And also, when it comes to feelings, the Page of Swords is the most what's a kind way to say this, is the most or should I say is the least skilled in matters of the emotional realm. This is likely someone who is quite intelligent and probably very fun to talk to, but maybe has a hard time speaking about things when it comes to emotions. One specific interpretation of this phone call card is the doctor. So this person could be in the medical field or be a doctor of some kind. I do feel like this person is quite intelligent, and it doesn't seem like they're incapable of emotional connection, especially with the Six of Cups here, because it does seem like they have you've had some sort of emotional connection with them, or you feel a deeper emotional connection with them. With the Six of Cups here as well, this can often represent, like, especially in a love connotation, like soul type connections. This can also represent children, and pages also represent children. Though I will say, if a child is coming through for you, a lot of these messages may not resonate. They may just be saying hi, because the decks I'm using are not conducive to channeling child energy. But I do think that this person is someone who is probably better at keeping things on the surface, probably isn't the best at admitting their faults, and might be a little immature sometimes. They're likely younger than you or act younger than you. Maybe you're just way beyond your years and maybe this person is developmentally normal. But they do seem to be someone that has reached out to you recently or wants to reach out. Like this Page of Swords could represent less so their personality and more so the energy that they've been in with you recently. So if a lot of what I'm describing isn't necessarily them, but you've had someone that reached out recently that you've had a deeper connection with in the past, or you have happy memories with, that is keeping things very light, keeping things very cordial and kind of strictly business, that could be this person. There's a lot of hiding here in the sense that I feel like this person is trying to keep themselves concealed, or they're not wanting me to see their energy too much, which kind of makes me laugh because, like, that's fair. I can be quite unforgiving and perceptive. So it's, and maybe you're like that. So it does kind of seem like this person is only showing a little bit of themselves, or maybe they haven't reached out, but you've been thinking about them a lot. It kind of seems like that maybe there have been some petty things that have happened between the two of you, either in the past or recently. Like, even if you're not typically a petty person, like maybe you just kind of like, I don't want to say ghosted this person, but maybe you just kind of like push this person away. It kind of seems like there's this unresolved energy between the two of you, and it seems like if you have connected recently, it is through the phone or through some sort of communication. And it does seem like, for what it's worth, maybe if there was any pettiness between the two of you, it was because like there were deeper feelings here, there were sweeter feelings here, and it seems like you guys never really had a conversation about that. It seems like this person's conversational skills aren't the greatest, especially when it comes to talking about things that are really deep or very emotional. I would also say that this is the type of person who thinks that they can handle things, and then once they actually are in the situation, they're like, oh, I was not actually prepared for how this was going to make me feel, or I was not prepared for how this is going to impact me. I do think sometimes they have a tendency to leave things unsaid, and even as this Page of Swords is like, they're looking at the Six of Cups, it's like this person is likely thinking about the past a lot with you and thinking about whatever times you had together. But I feel like they're thinking about them in a way that's like, they're not allowing themselves to feel the deeper emotions that might be surrounded by that. They might even be frustrated that they're even thinking about it. I feel like you only saw one side to this person, or you only get to see one side of this person. It seems like at times they're not really willing to maybe share their darker side because maybe they're really ashamed of it. But I do think that this person maybe compensates for their insecurities by keeping things light or by avoiding things that they're uncomfortable with. In terms of signs, with the swords, we have Aquarius, Libra. Pisces is wanting to come through, but Pisces is a water sign, so take that as it resonates. And also Gemini. So those could be significant zodiac signs, but they don't have to be. And maybe you haven't been connecting with them, but you've heard news about them or heard something about them through the grapevine, or maybe vice versa. Maybe they've heard something about you and maybe you've been thinking about them or something like that. So in terms of your connection with them, the fact that we have the Strength card here, it does seem like there is some ego here between the two of you. Depending on where you guys are at, it seems like there's kind of a standoff energy where maybe both of you aren't willing to be vulnerable in this situation. I do feel like there's a powerful energy between the two of you where no matter what happened between the two of you, it seems like you do think about one another, or there is a lot of like patience this situation has required. It seems like things are kind of at a standstill. Especially with the Hanged Man here, and with Leus here, it does kind of seem like there's this energy of just going with the flow. Honestly, I feel like for some of you, you're even shocked that this person or this situation is coming through, because it seems like maybe nothing is really happening, or you don't even really think about this person. It seems like a lot of what happens is in between this person, you and this person right now, is happening in your subconscious. But at the very least, it does seem like both of you have reflected a lot when it comes to your connection together. It seems like you've changed your perspectives, but it does also seem like, for whatever reason, like this connection is not moving, this connection, like not much is happening. And I, like I said, would not be shocked if there is a little bit of ego involved here. Like maybe both of you were not happy with how the situation ended, or maybe you both left a lot of things unsaid. It seems like you both have been doing individual healing though, especially with Legos being here. And it seems like you both are kind of mirrors into one another's subconscious. Like it seems like you both evoke a lot of insecurities within one another that you're not trying to create in one another, but it seems like there's just something in the way you both are energetically coded that you have the ability to bring to the forefront each other's insecurities without even trying. It's like when you're around this person, you might find that, you know, insecurities that you completely forgot about, or insecurities that you didn't even realize you had, like come to the surface. And I would definitely say that it's the same thing here. Like there is kind of an intensity that I feel like neither of you really know how to navigate, and also an intensity that may be a little bit frustrating, especially depending on how well you knew one another, or how long you knew one another, because it may be that the level of intensity that existed between the two of you was did not match the length of time you had known one another. So like there could have been some awkwardness around like how do we navigate this when, you know, we're both feeling this intensity, but maybe you didn't know that the other was also feeling that intensity. And I also just feel like there's kind of this aspect here where water could have been a significant aspect of this connection. Like maybe you guys spent a lot of time around water or something like that. But it kind of seems like both of you see the situation as like out of your hands. And I do think that there is this intimidating aspect of this connection where it does seem to make you really uncomfortable, or it does seem to really evoke uncomfortable feelings around past wounds or around insecurities you might have. And it kind of seems like you guys unintentionally know how to poke each other's insecurity buttons, and I definitely would not be shocked if that has made you both on guard around one another. If this person did anything that was shady, I can definitely see that like they may have some sadness around that, or they may have some regrets around that, but at the same time it seems like they're kind of acting like, oh well, I don't know what to do about that, or like, you know, it takes two to tango, or like something like that. I definitely think that the potential for a strong bond is definitely there, but the potential for a lot of like turmoil and chaos could be there as well, just with the Strength card being there. The month of August could be significant, or which we're in that right now. Or it could be that both of you had issues around like pride and sharing vulnerabilities around one another that kind of caused the both of you to leave the connection, or just leave the connection be, like not interact with it in any way, and that's kind of left it to this left it at a standstill, or left it at a place where neither of you really know what's going on. But I do feel like for both of you there is some aspect here where you bring out a lot in one another's, you bring to the surface a lot of things that are happening in your subconscious that might be very uncomfortable, like fears around intimacy, fears around vulnerability, fears around rejection, fears around abandonment. And I can definitely see here that like even with these sweet feelings, it's like maybe both of you had to work really hard not to jump to conclusions or take things the wrong way with each other, because it just seems like for whatever reason you both made one another quite insecure. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what this person wants to say to you. Maybe they have some interesting insights. But while I'm shuffling, if this is resonating and you'd like to know more about what's actually going on in your person's heart space, things like that, we're gonna look at that in the extended. We're gonna look at things like how they see you, what they adore about you, secret desires and how your connection impacts them, strong mutual feelings, and looking at your synergy. it definitely seems like these channel messages are going to be helpful right now because this person is really good at concealing what they don't want to be seen. But whether they like it or not, that's happening in the extended. So we are going to be tapping into their subconscious. Okay, but for now, let's just see what they would say to you and what they want you to know since they came through here. So pile 4's person, the person that came through for pile 4, what would they like pile 4 to know at this time? What do they want to say? I want to start a family. Well, that's quite intense. We have, I want to start a family with you. We have, I am manifesting you and you are wrong. Yeah, no, this actually makes a lot of sense because before we even like keep going, I wish you could feel what it feels like to be channeling their energy, because it almost kind of feels like I'm stuck on, like, if your connection and their feelings and their whole experience were water, it kind of seems like I was kept stuck on the surface, like I was gliding on the surface, like they stuck me on an inner tube in a boat and they're driving me around and I'm like, okay, no, I need to get in the water, I need to see what's going on, because what's underneath, it's almost like a distraction to keep me from seeing what's going on underneath the surface, because there might be shame or embarrassment around that. Like, I feel like this person has a really hard time being emotionally vulnerable and even tapping into their own emotions. They may have kind of a complex around like, oh, I don't feel things, like, oh, like nothing's that big of a deal for me, or you know, considering we had the doctor thing, like they could be in a profession, it doesn't have to be a doctor, but they could be in a profession in general that does require them to kind of separate from their emotions just to be able to do it properly and not get bogged down by the reality of what they're doing. So it could be quite possible that one of the consequences of that is that the feelings of your connection and like the feelings that, like romantic feelings and just like any intense feelings in general kind of go into that compartmentalized box as well. And that could kind of make it more challenging for them to process what they've been through with you and how they felt with you. But what else would they like pile 4 to know? What messages do they have for pile 4? Okay, we have wait and words do hurt. And on the back of the deck, we have you have so many choices and options. So that's really interesting. I definitely feel like this person has quite an intense tendency to romanticize and idealize, and I think that's gotten them in trouble in the past. It seems like whatever has occurred between the two of you, they did see you as an ideal future partner, or they did see you as someone that they could see themselves settling down with. And maybe they realized like they weren't ready for that. And they also realized that maybe they weren't good enough for that with you. I feel like this is definitely the type of person who can get really swept up in their imagination, which is kind of ironic for a Page of Swords, but I feel like that's because they have really vivid, really potent visions. And their visions fit into a logical timeline of how they see their life going. And so it's kind of like you may have checked a lot of boxes for who they saw as like a person in their future, and they may have realized like, okay, this makes like pile 4 makes sense for this, but I'm not checking the boxes for being ready for this. And so it does kind of seem like they may have pushed you away, or they may have, they may feel like they messed this situation up. And you might admit like you didn't put in a lot of effort to uphold things anyway. But if you feel like this person wasn't interested in you, or that they were just playing you, or that they didn't care, I feel like they're coming through to say you're wrong. Like if you have any, I would pay a lot of attention to whatever insecurities this person brought about, or whatever insecurities this person made you feel, because I feel like those are not a reflection of how they feel about you. They're a reflection of just what their energy brought out in you. And I definitely feel like they had that same experience. And I feel like their insecurities were around the fact that they may have felt like you were out of their league, or they may have felt like, you know, you have a lot of options and choices in life. Like you may have a lot of romantic options, and there may be a lot of opportunities for you to explore, and they may have felt like, you know, they didn't want to keep you from that, especially if they weren't ready. But also I feel like they may have just been insecure that they weren't good enough, and they may have felt unworthy. Like that's kind of been a theme in a lot of the readings, is like a lack of worthiness. But I also think that they may have projected insecure assumptions onto you and realized that they were wrong about those. I feel like there's kind of this hope, like things will work out. And I guess if this person hasn't reached out, they may be waiting to do that. And if you've been considering reaching out, they might be telling you to wait. It kind of seems like things are at a standstill for a reason. If you did have any sort of argument with them, it does seem like they're kind of processing that, or if there were any petty words exchanged, like it does seem like that really impacted them. But I do think even then, like maybe what wasn't said was hurtful as well, just because like maybe because you guys didn't have a conversation about certain things, they kind of took that to mean like you didn't feel anything, or you know how when you don't have any context, you can fill it in with your worst fears and insecurities. It kind of seems like that was a situation that happened between the two of you. And I feel like both of you may have been afraid to have challenging conversations, but it does seem like this person hopes for a new beginning with you, but they feel like now is not the time. They also don't want to get in the way of your options and opportunities. And I feel like they're kind of waiting to see what happens. It's like, I feel like there are things in their own life they're waiting to see. And they're also waiting to see like whether or not they still feel compelled to reach out to you in the future. It's like they may also be kind of like waiting and seeing like if you end up with someone, or where you're headed in life, because this is kind of a passive person in the sense that I do think they are very afraid of rejection, and and I do feel like whatever impressive feats that they work towards in their life, they don't come from a place of, they may come from a place of purpose, but I think they also come from a place of insecurity and needing to feel useful. So there's kind of this challenging aspect to them where they kind of have one foot in and one foot out. And I'm not shocked that things are kind of at a standstill here, especially if you feel like they need to be the ones to reach out to you. Like if you're like, I'm not going to reach out to them, whatever, then I definitely think that you might be waiting a bit for them to reach out. But if you're feeling their energy, it's likely because they are thinking about you a lot. And I definitely think that it's not because like whatever happened between the two of you, like it definitely didn't end because you weren't what they were looking for. You didn't what they want. You weren't what they wanted. It seems like you are what they wanted, and they feel like they weren't ready to have that yet, or they didn't feel like they deserved it, or they just felt like they didn't check the boxes for being ready for the boxes you were checking. And it just kind of seems like they're kind of waiting to feel this energy out and see if they still feel as passionately in the future. But I definitely think that one thing I do want to say, like in your defense to this person, is that like it was kind of unfair to you for them to be kind of like seeing you as like a future ideal and not just the person you were in that moment. And I do feel like this person missed out on opportunities to really get to know the person that you were in that moment, because they were too focused on who you could be and who you both could be together. And I just don't think that was fair to you, and I just feel really called to tell you that. But this is pretty straightforward. I don't feel the need to like elaborate on this further, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, this person's in a Page of Swords energy, so it just kind of seems like if they were going to speak the truth to someone, they'd be like, yeah, I really liked Pile 4. Like, I really saw a future with them. Like, they're really like an ideal type of partner for me, but I just wasn't ready for that. Like, I've got XYZ going on, and I just don't know where I'm at. And honestly, they're a catch. And so I don't know, like, I don't know if they will even be interested in me. And then they would also probably talk about the fact that they may have fears that you think they hate you, or you think that they don't like you, and they just want you to know it's not the truth. And I think that they would be willing to clear that up now. It just may be that you may have a hard time getting them to be fully transparent with you, because there's a lot of insecurities about sharing their inner world, and I don't think they like to share it. I don't think they like to share it, period. But if they are going to share it, I think it's very infrequently, and when the moment is right, and likely in person, and likely like when the vibes are right. Well, let's go ahead and get guidance for you, because you deserve guidance. So Spirit, what guidance do you have for pile 4 when it comes to this situation with this person? Interesting. We have the Hermit. So I definitely think you're really being guided to not feel like you need to. I feel like the answers that you're looking for are within you. They're not coming from this person. I feel like if you try to ask them questions that you've been looking for the answers to, I feel like you will be unsatisfied. But I also feel like you're being called upon to really look within and ask what it is that you want. I wonder if for some of you, your interest in this person may lie less so in the fact that you really want to see more of a future with them, and more so in the fact that things were going really well and they ended kind of weirdly, or, you know, things just kind of are up in the air, and or like, you know, just stopped flowing, and there's a lot of uncertainty and some of that, like maybe insecurity of like, was I rejected, like what happened? That may be something that's keeping you attached to this situation. I definitely feel like you're being called to kind of see what is drawing you to this person, what is drawing you to this situation, and is it something deeper? Is it something that you feel in your heart like you want to stay open to and explore? Or is it something that is really just trying to get you to see where your own wounds still lie, where your own vulnerabilities are holding you back, or where your own fears are kind of keeping you stuck? But I also can see here too that like you definitely don't have to do anything here. Like you can just wait and see what happens. I don't think that the answers you're looking for are with this person. I think they're within you, and you may already kind of know them, but you may be just like waiting to get that confirmation. What other guidance do you have for pile 4? Spirit, what else do they need to know? We have balance with Temperance. So I definitely think that like there's a need for patience. But it is quite possible that this situation was imbalanced, and it may be that like you're really being asked to reflect on the past of this person and see whether or not the situation was truly balanced. Like, were you putting in more effort and energy, or were they? And I do feel like when it comes to who you allow into your life and who is meant to be in your life, like there does need to be a better balance. And so if you're going to let this person in your life, if you're going to engage with them, I do think that like Spirit is really asking you to focus on what a healthy balance is for you, and what's truly important for you. I would also say here too as well that like, it doesn't say it on this card, but Temperance is also a lot about patience. So I do think that this situation will require patience. I mean, Strength is all about patience as well, because I do think that it's a situation that is resolving slowly. It's not a situation that's going to be resolved tomorrow. But I also think that like one of the best things that you can do is try to find balance in your own personal life, because that's really going to help you recognize where maybe you've been seeking for more balance outside of yourself that really was just a reflection of where you needed more balance internally or in your personal life. And then also see, okay, no, this isn't something I needed to work on myself. This is actually something that I'm seeking in a person. This is something I actually want. But is there any other guidance that you would like to give pile 4, please, that they need to know at this time? Final guidance would you like to give pile 4? Oh, we have the 5 of Pentacles. So I definitely feel like you're really being called to not put all your eggs in this person's basket, at least for right now. I do feel like one thing they want you to know is that they do feel lonely too. Like they do miss you, but the universe is really asking you to focus on connections where people can actually connect with you, and connect with you in satisfying ways. Like, sure, this person might be able to connect with you in surface level ways, but if they're emotionally unavailable, or they're unable to connect with you on a deeper level, at least at this time, I definitely feel like the universe is really asking you not to push push connection away. And that doesn't have to be a romantic connection. It could just be connection with anyone that makes you feel good and makes you feel seen. But I also feel like if this situation is testing your faith, you're really being asked to recognize how it's okay for things not to work out how you expected them to, and that just because things aren't happening right now doesn't mean they won't. Like, you never know what can happen in the future, but I do think that, like, when it comes to feeling alone, like, if you're pushing other people away because you want this person to come towards you the way that you want them to come towards you, I do feel like that will perpetuate this feeling. I do feel like, if anything, there's a lot of value in just opening up to connection in your life in general, and recognizing like what sort of connection period is satisfying for you and what makes you feel less lonely. Because, you know, if you're holding out for, you know, one person or one situation and that's really leaving you feeling lonely, feeling misunderstood, then I just feel like, you know, that's not saying that you have to move on or do anything like that. It's just saying that, like, you don't have to push away, you know, satisfaction and connection in your life now. Like, if what is meant for you will never miss you. And it definitely seems like this person is working through things. And I feel like they are kind of working through this feeling of aloneness as well. I definitely feel like, though, you're being called to remember that, like, you're not truly alone, even though you may feel that way, and that a lot of the answers that you're looking for, a lot of the connection you're looking for is within yourself, as frustrating as that might be. But also just know that, like, you're not alone, and there's so many people that love you and so many people that care about you, and you don't have to keep this situation a secret or silent. Like, you can open up to trusted people about this. You can write about this. You can acknowledge, like, your feelings. And I feel like more than anything, acknowledgement of your feelings is really important. But we have the Emperor on the back of the deck, and so I really feel like you're being asked to focus on what you can control right now and focus on what is within your power, and not let the lack of control around this situation be something that stops you from taking constructive action in your life that just makes you feel good and uplifts you. Whew. Okay, pile 4. That is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting me read for you, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me and show appreciation for my channel. But if you would like to do that in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my candles, be sure to use code ASA10 for 10% off. You can check out my merch, you can check out my Instagram, you can check out my other videos, but that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!